Oh, oh, I'm gonna start now. It's 5 minutes early. It's unheard of. Who is she? A, what is it? What's the word? Does this sound weird? It sounds echoey to me. Can I hear myself back? What's happening? Did I just forget how echoey this room was because I've been away for so long? Oh boy. You guys, it's been a minute. It's been a while. You sound fine here. Thank you, Epic, for confirming that. It does sound echoey. Okay, Muse Clues. What is that? It sounds echoey to me. Is that better? No. What the fuck? Guys, I don't know how to fix it. I'm just glad that it turned on, if I'm being real. Is it the room? It might be the room. Let me just adjust the blinds. Perhaps that's going to create some sound buffering that would ordinarily be there. I don't know. Yeah, maybe it's just you not used to a stream starting 4 minutes early. A punctual queen, that's what I was trying to say earlier, is punctual. That was the word I was looking for. As you can tell, I'm losing my voice because I haven't stopped talking for literally like a week and a half. It's, Hoon is being really funny right now. I have a glass desk, right? And I'll introduce him formally later, but this is what she's interested in. This is the mouse that we're going to name. At some point, I'm going to make a follower goal and we'll name them for the follower goal. Anyways, Hoon thinks that that's her mouse. So she came up beneath the glass table. Oh, she's doing it again. And she's putting her little wet nose on the thing. Anyways, it really... Does it sound as echoey when I'm over here? I think I can hear just myself through my own speakers. Anyways, I'm going to adjust... I think it's just the room. I think I just need more sound absorption. Pause for 1 sec. But this is going to ruin, you guys. This is going to ruin lighting. But this is what usually happens, you see, is usually I have that shut. Is that a little better? Oh, I think it's a little better. Okay. As you guys can see, I'm in comfy mode. This is a double XL Old Navy fleece pullover from like 2004 that I stole from my dad and basically just haven't taken off since. And also my throat is sore because there's like insane wildfires. I must be in a weird place. My video is stuck. Gonna reset. Do what you gotta do. It also might be me because I was having like laggy issues just trying to type in chat. I've shut everything down. But what's different from my last Friday stream from here to now is I got a VPN. I'm like cyber security, privacy, paying attention, all that stuff that Get a Grip would want me to do. I had actually a really good discussion with, I was just going to actual name him, Risto, about, being proactive before there's issues. I actually got a message from a pretty well-established streamer and content creator for online stuff that's a female science creator. And she was like, yo, you got to be more tight with your shit. Or, hello, Hoon. Hi, sweetie. Hoon, do we need to have a Hoon moment this early in the game? She's inserting herself into the situation here. So I guess XXLS pullovers and all goodies should be. Yeah, exactly. Okay. It's Hoon time. We can have another Hoon intermission later. I don't know that I'm going to last the whole 3 hours. First of all, because I didn't research anything because I was basically away talking about research for forever. And I'm I just kind of I'm burnt out on that. But I am going to talk a bit about burnout. I'll probably, every time I say I'm not sure I'm going to talk for the 3 hours, I'm like, oh, look, it's been 3 hours and I'm still talking. Anyways, Hoon's okay being up here because she can, do you see how she's glancing to the side? She wants the mouse that I just showed you guys. So that's that. Anyways, I'm just going to, Dougylicious, thank you for resubbing. You're just the best. 3 months of about 8 years. Happy to have you home. Oh, I'm happy. So Dougie Licious looked after my sweet baby girl Hoon for me for most of the time that I was gone, which was tight. Doug, can you tell me, am I more echoey than usual, or am I just like forgetting how echoey this room is? Don't know. Don't know. Anyways, yeah, so I was away for this conference. I'm really bad at making sure that my auto thing doesn't happen on Discord before. Hoon, can you stop? Just go lay down, baby. Just go out, have a little chomp of your bone, please. You can't have the mouse. The mouse is hidden. You sound normal. Okay, cool. Then it's just, I forgot how echoey this room is. Hoon really wants this mouse. I may actually end up giving it to her. My sister gave it to me. It's actually an old Webkinz, which apparently was like Gen Z's Beanie Babies. So that's fun. I have so much to address that's like not even related to neuroscience or mental health or any of the usual stuff that I would generally be talking about, because y'all, I got mail recently. Yo, Webkinz. So I'm too old for Webkinz. What is this top? Okay, Doug, you came in too late. I stole it from my dad when I was home. It's a double XL Old Navy polar fleece from like way back in the day. It's so ugly that I think it circles back around to being kind of cool. But you know what? That's also just like the clownery that is my fashion sense, is like, if it's preposterous, I'm wearing it. And oh my God, on that note, okay, it's packed. I might actually go unpack it. It's so good. So Layla and I and our coworkers were away for a conference, right? So we're in Banff, which is amazing. And I guess I can tell you guys all about that as well. But we're there and it's like significantly rainier than I had kind of like planned my wardrobe for. And you know me, I kind of like just generally dress a little bit hoary. That's just my baseline. That's my aesthetic, whatever. And that applies to my professional life too. Like, I don't dress as hoary as I do in my like regular life when I'm that, but I dress like what would be a little slutty for professional wear. And I'm fine with that. Anyways, but that does mean that you get cold, you see. So I have this blazer that I usually wear that's corduroy and kind of like offers a little bit of warmth value, which I absolutely love. But I forgot it in my dad's car because my dad came and rented us a car, whatever. Anyways, the point is I didn't have it. So we went and we're walking past Ardeen, which I don't know if they have that franchise in the States, but it's basically like kind of like Forever 21, but a little different. Anyways, so they have that like tacky shit, right? And I was looking for just like basic long sleeves that could go under some of the stuff like 90s style. Because I had a whole bunch of short sleeves and I'm like, oh, if I just make them long sleeves, that'll be a little warmer, right? Forever 21 / Claire's. Well, and is Claire's a franchise that they have in other places, or is that Canadian as well? Because I was going to say it's kind of like Claire's, but I thought Claire's was Canadian. Anywho, in the US they have Claire's. Okay, yeah, so it's like Claire's, but they sell clothes. Anyways, it's kind of like Hot Topic, but not emo / goth. You know, there's just, it's kind of Forever 21-ish. Anyways, we're going through the store and of course Layla's there. And you guys know that Layla is the balanced one of the two of us. The more, I guess, respectable one. I don't know. I think I'm respectable as well in my own way, but in a very different way. Anyways, Layla adheres more to the order of the universe and the order of things. So we're going through and I'm like just picking out some plain like basics, long sleeves. And she comes up to me with this black basic long sleeve and she's like, oh, this one would be almost perfect for what you're looking for if you just cut this bottom part off. And what the bottom part is a built-in like beaded belly chain that says baby and love. Like it's connected in the center. And it's a shirt with a belly chain. It's a crop shirt with a belly chain that's meant for 11-year-olds. And I was like, cut the bottom off. Are you insane? That's the best part of the shirt. And she's like, are you joking? And I was like, absolutely not. And I purchased the shirt and proceeded to wear it that evening, completely unironically. And now it's my favorite shirt, except for the fact that I've eaten nothing but cheese and deliciousness for a while. So I'm feeling very body conscious. So the crop top is like not exactly, this is why I'm wearing oversized right now, because it just feels better. And, in any event, that's just the story. It says baby love. I wonder if I can find it in my story archives and like show it kind of on screen without doxing myself. Because I guess I've made my own personal Instagram private, so y'all can find me if you want to anyway. But let's see if I can find in my story archives, because I did post a little video of it, and I think it's just divine, really. I'm so overjoyed that I have this shirt. Okay. Can you guys see that? I can't. Do you guys see that? Oh, now it went to the next one. Anyways, it says baby love. It has little yin yang and flower like clay tile things. Anyways, ooh, I feel that. I love my nice straight collared shirts, but sometimes when I've had a few too many sodas or snack cakes, I get real conscious. I saw it. Okay, thank you. At least one of y'all saw it. It's amazing. Maybe I'll actually wear it on stream sometime. Anyways, there's nothing inherently wrong with having a little fluff about the body or a lot of fluff about the body, but you are allowed to feel about your body however you want, right? So, I'm just a little bit more aware and whatever. But we had such a nice time at the conference, and it was kind of rainy at first. So the mountains, this is in the Rocky Mountains. We were in Banff, Alberta. And the Rocky Mountains were really moody and ethereal, and you couldn't see the tops, and it was all misty and stuff like that. And I was like, this is actually kind of cool, because basically I've seen the mountains a zillion times, right? But the people I was with hadn't seen them basically ever. Actually ever, as ever one of us. And so they were excited to see them, and then they got to see them in all these different ways, because eventually the weather cleared up a little bit, and they got to see it on one of those not a cloud in the sky sort of days as well. So it was really nice. We went to waterfalls at Johnston Canyon, which was amazing. I got so home proud. I was like, yep, those are our mountains, as if I had anything to do with them existing. I'm some sort of tectonic plate. No, Alicia, get your head out of your ass. Anyways, it's the only thing Albertans get to be proud of, because the people of Alberta are, well, not all of the people of Alberta, but a vast majority of the people of Alberta are kind of conservative dickbags. But I say that with an Alberta election coming up, and it being a tight race between one of the most liberal, small L liberal parties called the NDP, and the Conservative Party of Alberta being in a really tight race. So I'm actually pretty excited for that. So yeah. Those are your mountains. Okay, I gotta go, but the road. Oh, yeah. Have a good night. Thank you for being here, even for a little bit. I appreciate you. Tectonic plate, Alicia. How much cheese did you eat the last 2 weeks? I think one would qualify the amount of cheese that I eat just ordinarily as abnormally much. But the amount of cheese that I ate in the past week and a half is maybe heroic. I think I have 8 different types of cheese just currently right now. I was getting snacks for the airplane. I was just oh, a little mini charcuterie for Alicia. So I got 4 different types of cheese. I got this amazing Wensleydale. Oh, it's so good. It's truffle flavored. I brought it all the way from Alberta. Anyways, exuberant. She's exuberant. An exuberant amount of cheese. Oh, there's so much to get to. Good thing we have 3 whole hours, hey? Look at how chat. Okay, so you guys, the other thing is my ring light broke. So we're back to ghetto, where I put, this is my depression light, and I put, to make it more diffuse light, I put this envelope over it. That is what my insurance policy came in. It's just got some scribbles. So unfortunately, we're back to ghetto level lighting. Because the cheap ring light that I bought for streaming broke. It just doesn't work anymore. It stopped working on like what, because it has like warm light and cool light and in between light. So it all but one of those modes stopped working last Vulgar Science, and now just none of them work. So that's just the way she goes. Sagas will be written about my cheesy exploits. Honestly, true. When Doug and I used to live together, we would have like basically just cheese in the fridge a lot of the time and no complaints. Honestly, all I've eaten since I got home is cheese, frozen fruit, and ice cream. And I wonder why I'm feeling like particularly body conscious, but whatever. That's just the way it is. Anyways, I really appreciate everybody being understanding about having to change things, especially this past Monday. Honestly, I want the stream that I do that has Carly on to be like really fun and have my all put into it and have her all put into it, and kind of also to not have it just be like in my mom's like front room, because like the front room's right by the kitchen. So I don't know. I maybe should have reflected a little bit more before kind of just being like, Carly, do you want to do this? La, 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 and not really telling her any details. And then also not vetting the place before. And like, I forgot that I would have to install all of these things. And as I said before, my mom's a lawyer, which makes it so it's like really secure. Like she has to have all of these like firewall things and stuff like that, because during COVID, if you wanted to do anything law-ish, obviously it has to be insanely secure, because it's like you're passing like documents with like vital statistics and, you know, all those sorts of stuff on them, like people's birth certificates and, you know, SIN numbers and shit are on there. So anyways, it makes it super secure, which is great, but it also makes it a pain in the ass to like do things that are already a bit of a pain in the ass. So that is 100% my fault. And I completely apologize and really appreciate y'all being patient with me. But on the flip side, that means that I can figure out how to do the like guest star function of this and have Carly on that way. And also that means that she's going to have to make a Twitch account. Maybe she'll start like twitching stuff about EMT things, because I think that would be super interesting. Anyways, maybe I'm just like peer pressuring all of my friends to join Twitch, because I think it's so much fun. Anyways, I also got mail right before I left from Risto. I had won a raffle on science streams. One of us. Questionable times, but the best of times. Questionable for many reasons that I will not reveal on stream. But suffice it to say, we partied hard and lived life to its fullest, you know, that sort of stuff. Just gonna jostle my tea, because last time that I didn't jostle my tea, I poured it and it was really weak. Oh, I almost lost the lid because it created, you know, when like you put something down, it's wet and it kind of creates that like hydroplaning sort of situation. That just happened with the lid. It just happened again. I don't want to lose the lid to this. It's got the little bird on it. Anyways, I'm just dunking here. Wednesdays will go down in history. See, and I was so not there that I thought it was Tuesdays. It was probably any day, if we're being real here. You guys, I also got a Costco membership. Things have been happening. Things like there's been action over here at Shea near Alicia. Did I bring a cup? I brought a cup. Costco. Oh my God, yes. Okay, so Costco, first of all, you can get like, here's your ASMR, guys. Ooh, very nice. Want to know what I missed about being back home in Montreal? It's fucking dry as shit in Alberta. So dry that they're having like insane fires, like wildfires at my family's house. So much so that it looks like Mad Max. It looks like Mars. Like during the day, it's just like, okay, see now the light is changing. It's really dark on this side, but I don't have a way to light it evenly. I don't know what to do, you guys. Everything's falling apart. It's not falling apart, but you know, I feel like I've taken 2 steps backwards. I'm trying to like make it so that I'm not so like, it's fine. She missed the humidity, you monster. You don't understand how dry it is. Actually, I mean, you don't have to understand. The place is on fire. That's how fucking dry it is. So yeah. And it's like really early in the season for it to be on fire, because like it does catch on fire like somewhat regularly, particularly in British Columbia, but like Lord Jesus. Humidity is good for the skin. My skin broke out. You can't see because I'm immaculate at makeup, or maybe you can see and fucking whatever. But my skin broke out so bad there. And I usually have like pretty good skin. I take care of my skin and I drink lots of water and stuff like that. But I got nosebleeds. I got like, I felt like a crusty onion the entire time I was there. I don't know why onion. I guess because like controversial. Not everybody likes an onion. An onion has layers. A crunion, a crusty onion. It's true. Anyways, yeah, it was a time out there. And conferences are exhausting, right? Like if anyone's ever gone to like a conference or a convention for their work, like you know that it's like usually just an excuse to party. And so yes, your girl did break her dry spell of that variety, and only that variety. So I'm still going, more than 100 days strong on no dating. But your girl had a little bit to drink. So, good for me. Gasp. Yeah. Onion rings are crusty and good. That's true. Maybe I'm a bloomin' onion. Crusty old bloomin' onion. Anyways, hydrate. Yeah. Well, this is quite hot, so I don't know how much hydration I'm going to get out of it. But I'm pretty happy with it. Anyways. Fuck, I love that tea. I know how to pick out good tea. Anyways, so I got a lot of stickers because Carly gave me stickers. I also got some because I got mail, like I said, from Bristow Rock, and from Science. Actually, I only got one from Science, but also Risto sent me an amazing gemstone, which I forgot to bring into the room because it is on my altar in my other room. So just pause, have a little stretch. It's early in the game, but have a little stretch, have a little bend, while I go grab this. I almost just fell for no reason. It's so dark in here without my ring light. It's like really dark. Is that too light? It feels too light. I hate this. Guys, why am I back in the ghetto? This is like ghetto ASMR too. I don't know if I like that. Whatever. Was just told to get bent. Is it turned towards you? It's turned away from me, because if it's turned towards me, it blinds me. And, yeah. But see, it's uneven now. And if I put it in the center, then it kind of blocks the screen. Oh, look at that. That's awful. No. I didn't take the envelope all the way off, because all the way off is that. And I think that's excessive. It looks like I'm on the surface of the fucking sun. This is going to have to do. You guys are just going to have to get like dramatically lit from one side, Alicia. I don't know how I used to have it be. Did I tilt it? What did I do, you guys? Before, this is so ghetto. I feel like I progressed. I'm annoyed. It's fine. Anyways, I went to get this rock that's beautiful. It's a garnet, and Risto Rock sent it to me all the way from the other side of the continent and from another country. I feel like it's not doxing him to say he's from America, because he talks about, his life in the Midwest and that sort of thing. But yeah, this is my birthstone, and it's Doug's birthstone too. So sorry for revealing what birth month you have, but isn't it beautiful? I know maybe I could light it better, but I'm not going to, because anyways, it's so nice. Anyways, this is what happens when you start developing standards. Stream 1, you were just happy to be streaming and have audio, right? It's true. And you want to know what? Maybe I should just be happy we're all here and we're all together again. That's kind of how I felt when I was back home, because honestly, like all of us had gotten sick, and I'm still not sure that this isn't me getting sick. I feel like fine otherwise, but like first Layla got sick, and I was sick right before we left, right? And then Layla got sick, and then Lucas got sick, and Ellery got sick, who are our coworkers that we were like sleeping in the same Airbnb with in Banff. Banff. Did you hear that? Why did I just say it like that? Banff. Oh, the ones we were sleeping with out in Banffy. Like, what? I've been in Alberta for like a week and a half, and I'm like, so Sievertson's over there. They paved their driveway, but they didn't level her out before, so it's all crooked, eh? Anyways, Banff. Banff. I don't like it. Now I'm snorting laughing. Things are going sideways so much earlier than I thought they would. Like, I'm deliriously tired. My flight was delayed yesterday. The Uber situation when I landed, you know how on Uber, if there's like a whole bunch of people outside of a place all using Uber, you can make it so that you have that little like colored light so that your Uber knows which one of the many people you are. So I'm using that function, and the guy's like, I've arrived. And I'm like, well, you haven't, because I'm here and you're not. So then Nanners, Banff. I can't even look at Banff. It's too funny. Anyways, so I go towards this guy's fucking Uber, and then he starts driving away, and I'm like, hello? Do you understand how this works? You're supposed to let me get in the car with my stuff and then drive away. This isn't like, I don't know, Grand Theft Auto Montreal. Like, anyways, I was pretty pissy by the end of it. And there was like, when I was waiting for my delayed flight, I'm sitting there and I'm in a pretty peaceful corner. And then these two dudes come over, and one guy's like, do you mind if I sit here? And it's the chair next to me. And I'm like, fucking whatever. So, like, I didn't say it like that. I was obviously, like, very nice, 'cause she's Canadian. But I was like, yeah, sure. And then the man pulls out his phone and starts watching TikToks at full volume. TikToks that are, like, 5 years old. TikTok's not even that old, but that's how boomer this man was. And then he starts having a conversation on the phone, on speakerphone. I'm like, what is this, 1994? Like, what's happening here? Go to your car phone or something. Like, I don't know. I was pretty pissed. And then, I mean, I flew like premium economy, so it's like a little bit better. And I actually watched this amazing movie called Kajillionaire. Put it on your list, people. Put it on your list. It's got Evan Rachel Wood, who used to be married to Marilyn Manson. And she was in the movie 13 with the girl that played Rosalie in Twilight. I can't remember the actress's name. Nanners, you know the actress I'm talking about, Nicole something, right? The one that picked me up drove past me and had to loop all the way around, and I was already miserable, so that was an event. Yeah. Yeah. Nikki Reed. There we go. I'm Nicole. Whatever, I guess. Anyways, so Nikki Reed and Evan Rachel Wood were in this movie 13. Anyways, Evan Rachel Wood is in this movie called Kajillionaire, and it radiates A24 energy, but I don't think it's an A24 film at all. And it's quite funny, and it's a little girl gay, sapphic, if you will. Lesbianisms. There's lesbianisms in it, or at least bisexuals. There's girl kissing other girls, so I'm here for that. But even if there wasn't that, still a great movie. So Kajillionaire, put it on your list, people. Bisbians. Yeah, well, and you know what? Being back in Alberta has just put me right off the men, I gotta say. Yeah. Being like around a bunch of like people at conferences too didn't really help. I do love to flirt and like get yourself out there, get yourself out there on the open scene, meet some people, open your mind. But, yeah, wasn't great. Definitely made me feel like, I don't know. 'Cause like you dress nice, right? You dress nice. You dress like Like I said, I dress a little slutty, whatever. But then you get objectified in the way that's like not fun. It's not like, wow, you look nice. It's like I'm entitled to like leer at you because of the outfit you've chosen. I don't know. Maybe I want to have my cake and eat it too, which is, I like cake. Yeah, there's a specific breed over there. Give me your vagina. Yes, a specific breed we should take out back and forget they exist. You know, I don't know what's worse. After living in Montreal and trying to date men in Montreal for quite a long time, I do have to say that it's really nice to have people's main interests not consist of like kombucha and cycling. It's kind of like, here it's kombucha and cycling, there it's trucks and skidoos, you know? Or like beer. I don't know, whatever. It's just, I don't know. None of it's good. Maybe I just got gayer. I don't know. I'm a little fussy, you guys. I'm a little cranky. I did not sleep well last night. And Doug, I love you to death for giving the key to Marge, but she has been holding my key hostage because she's like, I really want your opinion on something. And I'm like, I'm at max, lady. I'm maxed out. I don't have time because this is my elderly neighbor that I was helping with her iPad the other day. And she's every stereotype of a boomer that you can even possibly imagine. And she like is like, oh, well, I'll let you go. And then keeps talking. I'm like, stop this immediately. So luckily I have 2 sets of keys, so I don't need to talk to her. But she's like, oh boy, sure was really wanting to chat with you. And I'm like, stop it. Anyways, so Doug gave the keys to the woman because we used to have a 24-hour doorman, but now we not have doorman 24/7. I don't even know what I'm saying. Anyways, she kept asking me stuff every time she saw me. I love her to death. And I also understand that her desire to stop nonstop chat is because, I don't know, she's lonely. She's a lonely hoarder, which is actually, I had been planning, a hoarding episode. I have some research that I've been doing over the course of the past couple of weeks, talking about hoarding disorder and some of the psychology that's super relatable to all of us that underlies that, but I'm not going to spoiler that because I think it's going to be a really cool episode, and I think I'm going to maybe do that next Friday because then people will be like, oh, she's actually back, and not just, forgetting to turn off her Discord alerts. Not that I have a bunch of people on my Discord, but whatever. I think I forgot to turn off my schedule here too. So people were probably coming and being like, hello, where's that girl? Anyways, whatever. I would like that episode to have some interaction with, various people from various cultures and stuff like that, because they talk a lot about attachment and anthropomorphizing things, and I just think it's really fucking cool. Anyways, the stream does seem a touch sassier than usual. I'm just feisty. What can I say? I think like going home, first of all, always like seeing my fam and seeing my best friend always kind of like reinvigorates me in a lot of ways, but also exhausts my patience. And especially going to a conference where I have to be diplomatic and I can't be like a raging feminist cunt. Like you can do like a couple of little subversive things. And like there was a lot of my favorite female scientists and stuff there. But at the same time, you're still like participating in, patriarchal, capitalistic, societal, celebrations, essentially. But still, yeah. Lack of sleep in Alberta will do that to you. Alberta as an entity is just sass and stress inducing. My aunt is a hoarder, and that's who I had to get grandma back from. Long story. Yikes. Anxiety and stress sound like home to me. Sass would have kept it interesting. I mean, you could be a raging feminist cunt. It's a look, it's a vibe, but I get you. Actually, speaking of looks and vibes, does anybody want to acknowledge that my hair is more blonde? Hello? She went to the hairdresser. Look at these highlights. Do you see that? Oh, platinum. Oh, gorgeous. Anyways, I went to my hairdresser. That might also be why I spend like 5 hours at my hairdresser, who is the most homo I've ever met. Like, he is every stereotype. Like, he's like last generation gay, like, hello, that kind of thing, which I absolutely adore. But then I pick up on those mannerisms, and then I got back and I was like, I'm gonna watch some light television, nothing too heavy, because I'm at my wit's end. And then I started watching Drag Race, so now I'm like, cut. Anyways, sorry to appropriate the gay culture. At least I'm part of the acronym, motherfuckers. Actually, I'm LGB. I'm the third one. Ooh, All Stars 8. Yes, I just started it. Also, I love that they just call All Stars people that came back on the show, not people that were actually really good at it. Actually, I hate that, but we were being ironic saying that. I saw it on Insta. It looks good. Thank you. I don't know how to style it yet. I washed it myself today, like before it was like the style that my stylist had put in. And I'm not really sure. I want to do it so it's like flippy, like Farrah Fawcett, do that. But I don't know. I don't know how to do that. And I also didn't want to put the effort in. So thoughts so far, Candy Muse can die. Not die, but like die from the show. I dislike her quite a bit. Her voice irritates me a lot. For anybody that watches All Stars or RuPaul's Drag Race, the new season of All Stars has started. So yeah, she's always rubbed me the wrong way. I think it's just the voice. But then Vanjie has the same voice and it didn't bother me. I don't know. There's something there. Hydrate. Yeah, you're back. Oh, Risto, I've missed you so much. Hey, I was just showing. Okay, so we're not going to talk about the lighting anymore in my thing. I'm having lighting issues, but I did show them the garnet that Risto sent me. This wonderful, beautiful person sent me that and sent me their whole collection of stickers, which are incredible and is a great segue to you guys. I have so many fucking stickers. So if y'all want to be redeeming Stick the Sticker, your girl's got a whole bunch of extras. Let's just go through them. Risto came in to visit me while you were gone. That's so sweet. Awesome. Yeah, Doug is fun to watch. I've only honestly ever really watched you play like a bit of Dead by Daylight and Sims, but it's enjoyable. But I also like you. You're like one of my best friends. Like, that's not surprising. Oh no. G'day, mate. Okay, so at the conference, there was a bunch of Australian people there, right? So I actually I tested it. I tested my g'day mate accent and was told it's actually pretty good. And that was when it was on the spot. So I've gotten a little bit better. I've gotten a little bit more confident. There's a couple of words that I'm not entirely sure how to say, but I guess when I tilt my head like this, you know that it's g'day mate time and that I'm going to talk about koalas and wallabies. I don't think I nailed wallabies. Koalas. I think I lost it, you guys. Fuck. It comes and goes. It comes and goes in waves. But yeah, let's talk about these stickers here. Especially now that Risto's in the room, he can explain. There's a couple of these things, star seeds. This is what his channel points, I believe, look like, which is great. You handled the g'day mate transition much smoother than I expected. You see, I'm in that kind of performative mode after being home for so fucking long and having to pretend to be someone I'm not for a lot of people. And also got to see a lot of people that I get to be my authentic self with. I think that turned British just there. But anyways, I'm still in performance mode, and also a little bit more practiced, perhaps. I might watch the movie The Rescuers Down Under. If anyone's ever seen it, it's fantastic. You should revisit it. If you haven't seen it, it's doubly fantastic because there's a giant bird. That sounded very British. Anyways, I did that so much longer than I usually do it for. So I'm just going to go ahead and say that I deserve a round of applause. Isn't it an amazing movie? Okay, The Rescuers, first of all, it's the little mouse UN. And my friends have now drawn my attention to the fact that like all of these mouse and rat movies from the 80s and 90s, that I like predicted my own like rat and mouse fixated lifestyle. Hoon's going to make her bed. We'll just take a little Hoon break. I make this bet before my stream every time, only to have her be like, frankly, disrespectful. Like, can I interest you in not doing that? Man, please get your butthole off the pillows. Yeah, you. I love you so much. Go make your bed. She stopped because I paid attention to her. She slept with you every night. Oh, she started back up again. I just want to see her when she does the circle and the lay down. Because you know what? The simple pleasures in life are something that I wanted to talk about tonight anyway. So we'll just... I wish I could zoom in on it. You're such a dingbat. Oh my God, she must fluff. I like... this girl. Anyways, I forget what I was talking about. I love my dog. Being back home makes me both like better at performing because I have some family members that maybe I don't see eye to eye on everything on. And it's not to say that we don't get along at a base level, but there's just some things that like it's a no, or I have to like pretend to be like, I don't think you're a terrible person for thinking that. Or I have to like toe the line and play like diplomat between people that disagree. And I'm just like not ready to do that for a lot of people because like it's a lot of fucking emotional labor, right? So you get better at being like on, so to speak. And also being around, especially Carly, who you guys will meet, I promise. She's my best friend of many years, since second grade, and I'm in my doctorate, I will remind you all, so that's a long time ago. Being around her and having the reminder that my authentic self is completely and utterly acceptable, and not even just acceptable, but like deeply and profoundly loved unconditionally, is such a powerful thing for like being okay to sound like what other people might call an idiot or think is an idiot, you know? And it's one of those things where, I don't know, it's soul refreshing, right? And I wish that every person on the planet had a billion of those people in their lives, or that we could all just be less judgmental and like have no one that discourages that in our lives. And also that we could like treat ourselves in such a way that's like maintains that over time, and that like of course you know you should be able to like want to see your friends and stuff like that, but it's funny how I'm more like that after being around her, and also being around my father, who's unapologetically goofy. He actually gave me an O. Henry bar. Why? Don't know. Anyways, and he drew a little like dude on it and was like, I love you. Again, why? Because he's my dad. He's just weird. Anyways, yeah, too much labor, not enough brain brain too smooth. Oh, I have the silkiest brain right now. She's got a silky brain all the time, but yeah. Yeah, where's Carly? I need to meet her for beer. We have a beer date. We keep sucking at booking. Your dad is incredible. Yeah, you want to know what? Carly actually said the exact same thing. She's like, I used to go for beer with Shannon all the time, and we haven't seen each other in forever. But I guess that's the way she goes when like life gets in the way of a lot of things. But the nice thing is you're the type of friend that you can pick up where you left off. And to that end, I actually saw my friend Trevor and his partner and their baby, which was amazing, because she's one of the few children that's not in my like pile, which is where all children start, and then they get moved to the not pile. Shannon's child is also one of those. So I won't reveal their name because that's, you don't want to dox children. But anyway, she's also got a cool name. But yeah, my dad is actually like a super, super rad person. And we had a lot of like kind of cool conversations because there was this amazing equity, diversity, and inclusion talk at the conference, which normally I'm like so eye rolly and like, you know, this is about to be performative as fuck about. But this one, all of us were planning on skipping it because, again, usually they're like some white guy that's like, I know what it's like to be discriminated against. And you're like, okay. Anyways, usually it's just kind of like we have to do this because that's the thing that you do know, kind of like a land acknowledgement. But this woman had us hooked like from minute one, and you could hear a pin drop in the room. Like she was electrically entertaining. Her name is Gaynor Watson Creed, and I believe she has videos on YouTube, but it was earth-shattering. Like she was a fantastic speaker. The shit that she laid down, like, I don't know. I feel on the one hand that like if you think that you're like, I get it, I'm woke, I'm not discriminatory in any way, that you're not even close to done the work kind of thing. So I wouldn't say that I was at the point where I thought that I didn't have, tons of work to do still, but that really kind of made me back up and realize that like what I have in wokeness and open-mindedness and stuff like that is like a fraction of what it could be, and how amazing that would be, and that it's not like a gold star situation. No one gets trophies for being, the baseline. And it was really cool. If I ever find like a video by her that like I want to watch it and see if it was anything like the talk she gave, because it was just fucking unreal, really unreal. So, if you guys want to look her up, I'm going to type her name, Gaynor Watson Creed. Anyway, so she was absolutely fantastic, and took some pretty dicey questions from the fragile white audience with too much grace almost. Like I don't want to be critical of her at all, but like there was questions that like it was cringy. It made me like feel like that's a repugnant fucking way to like this lady stood up. She's white. This lady is white. And she's like, I'm actually 8% Nigerian, and I think that there should be more than one option when you're selecting your like race, when you're filling out forms and stuff like that. And like, sure, true, tea. But you did not have to get up as a white presenting person. Yeah, it was some like minuscule percent. She's like, I'm 8% Nigerian. I'm like, ma'am, do you know which Nigerian people you were related to? Because it may have been the people that put the other people on the boats. In any event, she handled that more classily than she fucking should have had to. And we were all talking about it. Like the entire conference was talking about it after that. It was absolutely spectacular. So look her up if you're at all interested in that stuff. Actually, if you're not interested in that stuff, fucking still look her up, because you probably need it more if you're not interested. And if you think that you don't need it, then you super do. It's one of those sort of things. But anyways, let's circle back to starseeds. Let's lighten the room up. Because we can't sit in discomfort. That's the thing that she talked about. But you know what? I don't want to make my first stream back uncomfortable, because it's my stream. So let's just go through some stickers. And then if anyone wants to redeem channel points for Stick the Sticker, I might just do it anyway for free. Because I'm eager to stick stickers at all times, but particularly eager now. I'm jonesing, I'm scratching, I'm itching. So this is his Wristoverse sticker, which is really cool. I can't remember who did the custom art on it. It's some Risto. If you drop the name, then people will know. This is a hollow starseed thingy. This little alien baby, really cute, has a little like, I don't know, their little nose is really cute, just like a little cell. Meanwhile, we're selectively banning topics that may make someone uncomfortable in my state. I went to Catholic school, so they had like banned Lord of the Flies, all of Salinger, which, I mean, yeah, I could see it, but like are okay with Shakespeare. And I'm like, just a little bit of like completely like murders and suicides in there that you're fine with, but not, I don't know. It's it's the double standards for me. It's all of that shit that just makes me like repulsed. I really like hollow stickers, you guys. I'm thinking about designing stickers because that's my goal in life, is to be cool enough that at least one other person wants a sticker that is to do with me, because I'm the most important person in my life. That's just the way she goes. Ah, yes, burn the books and all that, as if the internet doesn't exist with some of knowledge. Well, okay, but keep in mind that when I was in school, you had to go to a computer lab at school to get on the dial-up ass internet. So, like, Bible had just a smidge of violence in there. Yeah, the fire and brimstone, rape, you know, all those things. Nailing people to crosses is kind of a big part of it. And I feel like, you know, anyways, Twitch is the place to do it. Starting to ban that too. TikTok and porn are effectively banned. Porn? Good fucking luck. Porn. Okay. The Risto logo and the green starseed are my lifelong friend drew for me. The Vibes Alien Infinity Starseeds science drew for me. Oh, right. Right. I knew that. Yeah, it's unreal. Oh my God, all the history I learned about Scotland, brutal. Dude, yeah, they had some, basically Scotland and Ireland were invaded by what's now the British. I think it was still the British then, depending on which invasion you're talking about. And they basically were like, that's ours. And they're like, we live here? And they were like, nah. So basically what happened in every other fucking country of the world happened to them too. And the shitty part is they have a pretty intense civil unrest that is still very, very active in the Celtic parts of the United Kingdom and mainland Republican Ireland. And yeah, like there's still actively bombings and shootings. When I was there like a couple of years ago, there had just been a shooting in the Shankill area of the of Belfast. So it's something that is very much, we like to think of as part of history, but much like oppression and racism and xenophobia and, you know, ethnocentrism and stuff like that is in North America and other places in the world, it is still very much alive in all of fucking Europe. And like, yeah, anyways. Can you make stickers and stick a sticker book? Like have, yes. Okay. The sticker book thing I think is unreal. Snaps for me. That was a great idea. I know I didn't come up with the idea of sticker books, but like, let me tell you, I doubt that sticker books are like a thing right now. And if I figure out a way to make a sticker book, it's all over. It's all over. I will have achieved all of my goals in life. Guys, I would just really, really like that. Yeah, the English wanting stuff they don't have claim to, as is tradition according to the British. Fun fact, though, found my last name in a stained glass at Stirling Castle nearby where William Wallace fought for Scottish independence. That's interesting. It was like one of 20 names. Really? Okay, so, but Cunningham is a pretty English last name, isn't it? I thought. The Hams. They're typically... Yeah, maybe I'm wrong. Anyways, I guess the interesting part of that area of history is that they invaded with a bunch of people that were like, I want to own this place. And then they realized it's really hard to grow things here. It's not super profitable. But we still want to own it because we like to own all land, right? Because it was the land, it was colonial times, the more land you own, the better. Right? So when they realized they couldn't like pillage the land to its nth degree and that it wouldn't be more profitable to go and like grow sugarcane and, you know, ruin those people's lives, they basically took their poorest people and said, go be a fucking placeholder, we'll give you a square meter of land. So they did that in basically what is Scotland and now Northern Ireland and other parts of Irish territory. I know more of the Irish end of this, but from what I understand, it's all of the kind of Celtic land. And so basically there's a whole bunch of English people there that have this English identity that conflicts very, very much with their Celtic identity. And they kind of have to be both and neither at the same time. So this is like the phenomena of brother fighting brother in, you know, the early 20th century in like the Easter Rising 1916 in Ireland and stuff like that. And if you've seen the film Michael Collins starring our bad boy Liam Neeson, who is a Northern Islander, or the film Belfast, that was a contender for Best Picture, I believe, last year, and Banshees of Inisherin, which was, of course, I think one of the actors, either Brendan Gleeson or Colin Farrell, won Best Actor or Best Supporting Actor. It is a fantastic film, and that film is a really good allegory for basically what's going on in Scottish and Celtic and Irish identities, kind of like all the time, is like you're conflicting with the people that are your people, because you, on the one hand, you don't want to identify as English because they're the people that came and, you know, were inserted into that thing. So everybody that was, you know, indigenous to that land or already there hates you, but also you hate the people that put you there and put you in this fucking strife situation. So you're kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't. And then you mix in a whole lot of religious stuff, Catholic versus Protestant, etc. It becomes a very, very messy. Anyways, so even if you are English, that doesn't mean that you're on the part of the oppressor necessarily. Anyways, that was just a lot of unsolicited Irish history, but you're just going to get that whenever, basically anytime you talk to me, because I'm obsessed with that island. Now, Risto, this guy has a Band-Aid on his nose and this little light hat. I don't really know the story behind that, but I think it's really cute. And this is just the non-hollow little starseed guy. So that's nice. I also follow this woman. I'm a patron of her on Patreon. And so I get a little monthly gift. And their name is Oat Milk Lady. Though their pronouns are they, them. And so because they're the ones that made this little rat. Hello. Focus, motherfucker. It's a rat with a spiked collar, you guys. I'm not an influencer. I don't know how to do this, but you guys can see my homebrew hand tattoo. So that's nice. Anyways. So I also got this hollow sticker of theirs that says, "A heart's a heavy burden." And I think it's just really fucking cool. Their aesthetic just like matches my like thing. Okay. It's mail time. Mail time. Any Blue's Clues fans in here? Mail time. What's up? Yeah, in terms of ancestry, I am more British, but my name is actually Scottish, not English. Interesting. He's just a construction starseed since I work in construction. That's really cute. I love his, yeah. I get it now. I just wanted to know if there was like a more, we just got a letter. 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 Wonder who it's from. I know who it's from. Wait, Nanners. Blue's Clues is like, remember when the guy from Blue's Clues like came back, like the ShamWow guy, and was like, "Hey there, former children. Is life too fucking much? You can do it. See ya." Does anybody remember that? Is this my first pseudo unboxing? Well, I did open my stickers from Rat Boy Minis, my friend who came on before. So I opened my stickers, like this one of the kangaroo and this one of Rizzo, Rat Boy Rizzo, you know, please feed me. And a couple of, you know, I opened that. So I opened mail. But this is, yeah, I guess this is a pseudo unboxing. But okay, so this is my new Oat Milk Lady. You can see that I have a little roller for confidentiality where I roll over the addresses so that I don't accidentally dox someone. So I do that before stream so that it's not just dependent on me not being a fucking idiot. So yeah, it is my first kind of, I guess, I don't know. We made quite a ceremony of it by me singing the Blue's Clues mail song. Yeah, Steve, he does great stuff, but there's now this really adorable Filipino dude who does Blue's Clues. Child loves watching it. Well, I didn't even know it was still on air. I forgot what it was like to be around children, and Carly and I were at my mother's house on actually what ended up being the day that I was supposed to do the vulgar science, or not the vulgar science, the EMS episode with her on it. They're grandchildren. So these are like my step cousins. I don't know. They're someone's children at the very least. Anyways, they were there. So I was around children for the first time in a very long time, and they're the type of children that you can't swear around. So your girl drops F-bombs, and I think within like 3 seconds of walking in, I said, Jesus fucking Christ. Oopie. My mom got pretty pissed with me about that one. Not super like actual pissed, but she was like, Alicia. Anyways, I sent you a little nifty thing I got while I was there. Sent? In the mail? Should I have it? I just checked the mail today. Got a whole bunch of tax bills. That was fun. I put those aside and just picked up the sticker. Oh! What? Why would I mail? Yeah, that's what I was thinking is why would you mail me anything? Did you send it now? What are we talking about? I'm confused. Oh. Oh, this is neat. Oh, I see. Okay, I see. So Doug sent me like his family like crest stuff and the thing to do with like his family heritage and his last name, which is why obviously we're not sharing it out there because that would be, I guess I already kind of said it earlier and didn't clock it. So sorry about that. I don't think I said it, but did I say the whole thing? Oopie. Sorry about that. I love you. It's a pretty popular last name, so it's like Brown, Black, Smith. This is the pin that I just got from Oat Milk Lady. It is half of a swallowtail butterfly and half of like a moth maybe. If I get swatted, you are my emergency contact. I mean, that's fine. I think you're still my hospital emergency contact. So anyways, that's that cute. That's my monthly prize or whatever from Oat Milk Lady. Follow them on Instagram and whatnot. Oh, I missed the little note. It didn't come out. Hi, Alicia. I hope your April was good. I find April always is a hectic month for me. May is also usually crazy, but the flowers and sunshine help a lot. I hope there's some green wherever you are. Enjoy these goodies. They always put a little thing. You got a crest? I have one my uncle made, and I don't know how legit it is. So, I got a ton of stuff. A crest, a tartan. You got a tartan and a kilt? That's exciting. My family tartan, I think, is like pretty... Well, sorry, it's not my family tartan because my actual last name is not a culture that has tartan. But a couple maiden names up, like the family that would be from Ireland, their tartan is, I think it's yellow. And of course, oh no, wait, it's not. Oh, there's yellow in it. I might not know. I might just not know the answer. You should check out Spooky Girl on Patreon. She sends 4x6 prints of her art every month. Cute. She's German. She is German. Can you not tell? Hello? Do I not radiate the German energy? Maybe I should make a German accent. One of those things. Wanna who's good at a German accent? Our pal Get a Grip, who I haven't seen in a long time. I'm just gonna put that in there. Goodbye. Goodbye to the envelope, not to you guys. Now I have a science sticker, the one that I won. I know which one this is because I selected it. And there. Oh, I got bonus ones. Amazing. It's like rock and roll guitar Antonia. And then the little science logo. If you guys aren't following science, you're making a mistake with your life. Anyways, and then Antonia. Look at her playing the guitar. You'll love it. Anyways, so those are stickers that I got from that avenue. I'm just making sure that all these envelopes are empty. D&D is such a rad time. I miss Sean. I know. I'm so used to being around Layla all the time, especially after this little bit. And like, we had so much fun while we were away. Guys, I got back into puzzles. If you're not doing puzzles, that is such a chill energy, low key thing to do if you get the right puzzle. Like, I like the ones with little things that you can like see like a little picture rather than like a big like scene with a bunch of water or anything like that. Just in general, though, all puzzles are fun and they're like generally pretty low key, though it's hilarious. Layla, I love her so fucking much. She's so competitive and like self-admittedly, this is not like, no one's surprised about this, but she's so competitive that she starts like getting really into the puzzling and she's like, do you want to turn on some music? And like, we're all like, no, we're doing puzzles because it's low energy and low stimulus. Anyways, bless her heart. I fucking love that girl. But yeah, I also miss Sean and I also miss my fucking D&D character when I'm gone. I miss Rayla is her name. I can dox the shit out of Rayla because she doesn't fucking exist. Rayla is the name of the character I used to play when I played Final Fantasy or Realm Reborn, which I desperately miss playing, but I cannot afford the time to spend in my life, nor do I have the platform to play it on. But if I ever do like get into like the gaming end of things, you guys can watch me just opt out of main game storyline and just become a little maker. Like, I was a little leather worker and I would like make gear for everybody else in my guild, and I was like technically a really good archer, but only because I did it so much to get up to that level and I just like farmed XP, not because I'm actually good at doing any sort of like anything really video gaming. I'm abysmal at video games, but I like them anyways. I saw a nifty puzzle on TikTok that was all iridescent and had a shift at different angles. Ooh. Yes, we love a side quest. Next time we get together, we should do our minis. Yeah, well, okay. So I think we need to discuss whether or not we do indeed want Rory to paint them and whether or not he has the bandwidth to paint them, because I think the cost might kind of end up being about the same whether we get it printed color and be able to just like click and select all of the colors on the Hero Forge website versus getting Rory to paint them and being a little bit less picky about like what the colors end up looking like, because like for the amount that he would charge us, which is probably a mate rate kind of thing, I think it would be like a little bit overkill to be like really particular kind of thing. So yeah, we'll have to discuss that. Anyways, I wish we did minis. Oh, we game via Zoom, no minis. You can still get a mini. Like, live your life. I don't know. Anyways, they're just fun to design too. But anyways, so Rayla, my character, time to pour some more tea. Yeah, I'm down to support local too, but I'm also broke as fuck. So like, we're talking like $50-$60 kind of thing per. Anyone need to pee? This is your time. Hydrate. Maybe a little hydrate and a stretch. You know. I didn't expect that to work. That's funny. Okay. While people are using the washroom, we're going to do a little stretch. Oh my God. Ugh. Yeah. The sound triggered half the chat. Yeah. Chat's a little sparse today from me being gone for so long, but I have all the special ones here, all the good ones. So I don't care. And you know what? There might be people lurking. I have the viewer count turned off because I don't care. But when y'all are back from the bathroom, I have another pile of stickers because Carly gave me stickers. And yeah. We're just going to do the full sticker tour. And then Ratboy Minis actually sent me, I think I may have just accidentally shown something that I shouldn't because I forgot to, because I couldn't do it because it's this shiny paper and it wiped off. Anyways, doesn't matter. I'll check. Yeah, that's a good idea. I may not have, my hand may have been covering it, but I saw part of the barcode. Anyways, I'm just gonna rip that whole part of the plastic off. Yeah. Ratboy Mini sent me something, and he didn't tell me that he sent me something, or if he did, I forgot. Okay, now it's nondescript, I think. Anyways, I'll watch back on the VOD, and then if it's on there, whatever. Risto, you had your little mental health thingy that I couldn't attend because that was the gala night of our conference, but I hope it went really well. Nero, my brother, has requested my presence in sailing the high seas for pillage and plunder in the Sea of Thieves. So I'll be lurking as I get drunk and throw buckets of vomit on my brother. A lot to unpack there, but you do you. Appreciate the lurk. Appreciate you being here. Appreciate you being in my life. Appreciate the stickers. All that. And good luck with the vomit? Question mark? Yeah. I don't know how the fuck I'm going to get into this. Scissors. Keys wrapped? Oh, my sweet darling. He's put it in like half of a Kleenex box and then like wrapped it in. Oh, yeah. I'm very excited. I think I know what it is. ASMR, anyone? This one doesn't make me need to pee. Ooh, bubble wrap. Oh yeah. It went. Hoon is like, can I have this? Come here, baby. You can't have this. Come up. Hi. Look at this girl. She wants this. Because it smells like Rory. You don't get any of this. You guys are getting extra Hoon content because she was just like, hello. Anytime I unwrap anything, she's like, for me? And I'm like, no, not for you. I wish that I have to get my like other camera going and hello? Pause it. Those are stickers. Don't lick stick. What's wrong with you? Go lay down. Get your duck. This dog, the entitlement. Yeah, in the game you can drink from a bucket of grog till you get sick. You puke in a bucket and fling it overboard or on the captain. Anyways, it went great. It was a challenge due to the lateness of the stream. I was up for like 30 hours, but I did it and had a great time and a great discussion with some really amazing people. I appreciate you. I'm bummed that I couldn't attend. Honestly, it sounds really cool and fun, but I'm so happy to be back too. Honestly, I missed it. Okay, you guys. This is okay. I need more light. I'm ancient. Hold on. Gotta get my flashlight. Okay, it is a little tiny mini Annabelle jar of it might be a little rat with horns. Yeah, it is. It's a little rat with horns, like it's a rat lord. This is incredible. I hope that I can get it to show. Oh, it's in a little bell. I wonder if the bell jar is, yeah, it's glued on. Guys, it's so difficult to, this sucks. I'll have to post a picture. I'm going to have to post a picture on the Discord, but the top of its little scepter thing is like a little like stylized rat skull, and it's a rat and it's got little horns. So we can name that rat too. There's so many to name, you guys. We're going to have to meet some goals. Goals, girls, goals. Going to watch episode 3. Will be lurking. No problemo. Like I said at the beginning of this, I might not last the whole time. Because my fucking throat hurts. I did have actual things to talk about, like regarding mental health and neuroscience and stuff like that. Because when I was back home, like I don't know, lots of my people are going to therapy after many years of me hoping that they'll go to therapy. Sweetie, you can have this. It's just a box. Do you want to look inside the box? Here. Why is she like this, you guys? And now you're farty. Gross. Get out of here. This dog, I tell you. It's very wee. It's quite wee. And it's impressive to me when people can paint things that small. But hey there, I know it's probably not in your field, but have you heard about neuromarketing? Joseph2812, first time chatter, welcome. I'm Neuralicia, and My dog is ripping stuff up behind me, but neuromarketing. I suspect that neuromarketing is probably, well, you know what? I don't know what it is. I could probably Google it, but I've not heard of it. I'm guessing that it's probably just something that plays on people's innate kind of reactions and, you know, things that are more likely to get people involved in watching or clicking. You know, algorithms for like attentional biases and stuff like that. But there's a whole bunch of ways to kind of, I hate this word, but hack using neuroscientific principles and psychological principles, the ways that marketing and advertising works. I think that's enough. You're going to get back guts. Right. One more. She just wanted to rip this up. And usually I would let her, but it's actually kind of like distracting. Me and my Vyvanse need to go to therapy, but that costs money. I mean, doesn't Vyvanse cost a fair amount of money? I know several people that are on it. I definitely have taken it, not recreationally, but like I don't need it. I'm not prescribed it. I've taken it for like productivity purposes, and that shit slaps. But yeah. Is marketing directed to use psychology to attract people to a project like colors and names and stuff like that? Oh, okay. Yeah. Then yeah, I know tons about that. So like this is the idea that like there's lots of red in restaurant colors because red is a color that just stimulates hunger and you know, more intense feelings and stuff like that. That's a little bit of like pseudoscience there, though there are some like color science principles out there that exist. Especially regarding language surrounding color. There's actually some really interesting stuff related to that. My extended coverage between me and the hubs makes the Vyvanse free. Sick. I'm a biotech student, but I saw that at my uni and got kind of mind blown. Yeah. So there's certainly something, there's actually, when Layla and I were talking about communication and stuff like that, we talked a lot about verbal communication and kind of like psychological tactics that you can use to frame things in certain ways. But there's also a lot of visual ways that you can do that we didn't really touch on. But these are playing with things like contrast and stuff like that. And if anyone's ever had experience in animation or drawing and stuff like that, you know that even something as basic as like line weight of a design can impact you know, what parts of the design that you're paying attention to versus not. You know, there's a whole bunch of different aspects to it. Probably an entire couple of streams worth could cover. But does culture impact how we react to color? Abso-fucking-lutely it does. It is actually really cool. They're reciprocal relationships. So culture impacts color perception, and color perception impacts culture, and kind of like in a cyclical sort of way. Also, the number of syllables in a product's name might affect its success. Yes, 100%. The easier something is to say, the more likely it is to get said. The more, like, even when I was like looking up, you know, to start Twitch streaming and like strategies for first time streamers, blah, 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 and like the funner parts of it, like designing your designs and picking your colors and shit like that. They talk about picking a name that is easy and memorable and keeping your branding consistent across platforms, right? So I have a Neuroleisha Instagram account, I have a Neuroleisha Twitter, I have a Neuroleisha here, and Neuro in the name, it tells you immediately a little bit about who I am and what I do, which I guess I could also introduce myself since you're new here. I am Neuroleisha. I am a neuroscience doctoral student. I have a master's degree and an undergraduate honors degree looking at experimental psychological phenomena, neuropsychopharmacology, which is a very long word and shitty to say. Basically, it means I know how drugs work in the brain and how the brain works on the drugs. And in particular, I know a lot about addiction and pain and other things. But yeah, anyways. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's part of epigenetics. Well, that's a bit of well, it very well might, but I would be surprised if there were actual studies that definitively showed that, because that would be very difficult to definitively show. But actually, interestingly, there was a whole bunch of interesting research while we were at the conference, one of which was done by my colleague Rochelle. But I won't talk about that research now because it's not really topical. But to circle back to what Muse was saying about culture influencing or color influencing culture, there's something called linguistic determinism, which is the fact that your language can determine your perception. So the classic example, I believe we've talked about on a stream before, it might have been on a Vulgar Science, which, as you can see, happens on Mondays with my colleague and close friend, Layla Show. And actually, speaking of which, we're going to be making Vulgar Science its own channel, or Layla is going to have a channel and then we're going to switch off. But most likely we're going to make Vulgar Science its own channel, just so that it's easier, honestly, on me mainly. But I think that's going to happen after I get back from my Europe trip. So that's just a side thing. But it's still going to be happening, just not going to be happening on the Neuralicia channel. But basically, in linguistic determinism, the classic example is that the Inuk people, or people that live in a place with a lot of snow for a lot of the year, have a lot of different words for snow in different forms. So they'll have reflective snow, crunchy snow, like they're all specific words, and this is not like a definitive list or anything, but things like dirty snow that we would just call adjective and the thing, they have a word to define that, much like the German have words for very specific things like Schadenfreude, which is the enjoyment in other people's suffering. They have a whole ass word for that. They have a whole ass word for people that sit down while they pee, male people sitting down while they pee. And the idea is that they can actually detect differences in things that other people that don't use that language do not. And there was actually a really cool study, I believe, using the Russian language, and I'm sure that I've talked about this on a previous stream, where people from certain parts of Russia can just see more shades of blue. So they actually operationalized this and did a full-blown study rather than just like kind of a naturalistic observation type of study, an experimental study, where they show you different swatches of blue that like change across like a hue gradient. And they got people to kind of determine the differences between shades. And people of that, I think it was like a subsect of the Russian people, but nonetheless, whatever those people were that have more words for blue actually could detect the difference between shades that North Americans and regular English speakers could not, which suggests that your brain is altered by the words that we use, which is why multilingual people have different brains than, unilingual people. Another really cool one is there's some sort of like untouched tribe somewhere that uses the cardinal directions relative to one's self to orient and to discuss the locations of objects. So instead of saying, like, I'm going to go over there or something, or the thing is on the table in the other room, they would say it's in the, I don't know. These are bad examples, but they orient things like they would say, this is to my north, this is to my west, kind of thing, because it's like oriented to you, which actually kind of makes a lot of sense in a lot of ways. But anyways, and they think differently. And the important part of that is they have different spatial reasoning and spatial abilities. So like memorizing mazes and orienting themselves in new environments is actually significantly easier for these people, the evidence suggests. So in any event, that's really cool. What are you working on for your PhD? Well, the long and short of it is I'm looking at the differences between the sensation and discriminative components of pain versus the affective and emotional components of pain by looking at pain-induced facial grimacing. So yeah, that's a lot of kind of jargon words. Basically, I'm looking at mice making faces when they're in pain and doing a little bit of like brain surgery and kind of examinations of their brains related to that. So there's a book called The Dictionary of Obscure Sorrows, and this conversation about words reminds me of it. Yeah, it's pretty cool. So does that fall into epigenetics, or is it something else that's really interesting? Well, so epigenetics is one of those words that's kind of nebulous in lay culture, in like everyday kind of pop culture, because it's kind of been misappropriated in a lot of ways. So your epigenome is different, I don't know, it's genetic and heritable changes that can be passed on to your offspring, right? So this is like kind of the neural substrate or the scientific substrate of things like generational trauma. And this very well could be related to that, but remember that the genetics of something only really matter when you're talking about, how changeable they are. And epigenetics is kind of the very nature of changing something that we think is unchangeable. So it's a really kind of obscure, well, I don't want to say obscure because it's quite popular, but it's a very easily misunderstood concept, which basically is that what you pass on to your offspring can be changed by your experience. So your nature can be changed via nurture. In this case, how you are brought up could very well change things in your brain, not necessarily about your ability to understand words, but maybe the area, the cortices in your brain, the genetic components that code for different cortices in your brain that are associated with language production or language comprehension might be changed. I don't know if that's true. It might be true. It would be difficult to truly examine something regarding language because, of course, the only organisms that we know that have language are human beings. And because the nurture part of our lives, the experiment and experience and environmental impacts on our lives are so varied and profound and powerful throughout the lifespan, you couldn't very well say that something that broad like language is as a result of an epigenetic change because of the parent being brought up in an environment that uses words in a certain way. Right? Because presumably those are also the people raising the children. And even if you somehow got a twin study where they weren't being raised by the children, or an adoption study, which are the gold standard of what am I talking about? Heritability studies. They're the gold standards of heritability and genetic studies. Even if you did have that, you would presume that one's appearance that is determined by your genetics almost exclusively would impact how the world operates around you. And, there's a whole bunch of basically what we would call confounding variables. So it would be very hard to cleanly say one way or another that was the cause. But I will acquiesce that it is likely that there is something there. It's just going to be very hard to study and prove. I know I'm addicted to the stream science. Hi. We looked at the stickers that you sent earlier because we were going through my sticker haul and we actually got stopped halfway through talking about, epigenetics now. But I still have a whole big sticker pile. Y'all, science is the reason that I decided to stream science Twitch content. So check them out big time. I believe both of my mods are lurking right now, so I might have to do a little shout out myself if I can figure it out. Is it / shout out or is it exclamation? No, / Girl, I don't know how to do this. / shout. Yeah, look at that. Look at this. This is gonna be great. Can I just click it? I can't just click it. I have to type it. My computer is laggy as fuck right now, too. I don't know what's going on. Life is difficult, but it's fun. And I like the people that I like. So I'm going to shout them out. Did I do it? Yay! I did it! My light isn't working, so I'm back to my old ghetto light. I am chaotic right now. Anyways, sneakers. Yeah. Anyways, so Joseph, welcome and thank you for asking a science question when we weren't really being at all scientific this whole stream thus far. So, bringing it back to neuroscience is always fun and I always super appreciate questions. So really, really appreciate that. Anyways, yeah, you're right. I use epigenetics to refer to changes caused because of the surrounding environment of the individual, like Asian people having better hearing because of the complexity of the languages spoken in Asia. Is that true? I don't know. Where'd you hear that? You can't drop links in the chat because cyber safety. But you could send them to a mod, both of which are lurking. But you could also just tell me, did you get it from a scientific study or did you read it on like Reddit? Which sometimes can be the same thing. Sometimes people put scientific studies on Reddit. I could also just fucking look it up myself. So let's see, you guys. Do I have the window open? Yes, I do. I don't know why I'm singing. You guys, I'm getting so zany. Why am I like this? Okay. I'm just gonna move this over here. I can't see the chat right now. Oh, yes, I can. I guess it's going to show there. Why is the chat showing? This is a mess, but let's just see. Google Scholar, which if you're looking, reject all them fucking cookie boys. But I actually love cookies. I don't really actually, I'm more of a salty snack person, but I do like a cookie occasionally. The chat can see you. That's okay. The chat I was interested in why the chat is in my searching screen, but I guess it's because I put it there because I'm the one that made these scenes or whatever they're called. Anyways, Asian language hearing ability. Let's try that. I read it on a paper about perfect hearing and why it's caused. What kind of paper? Perfect hearing? Perfect hearing. Do you know the authors of this? Because I am interested. Asian language, auditory. Let's just try that. Auditory free classification, non-native speech. Relative to Asian languages included in the study have more restricted syllable structures. This is promising. Let's pop that bad boy open in a new tab. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. Auditory input. Okay, that doesn't look great. Let's just click on this first one. That sounds nice. Rats, you guys. I would have to log in through the proxy server and everything like that to get access to this fully, but let's just see what the highlights say. This is Journal of Phonetics, which it looks like is an Elsevier, thing. Listeners classified non-native accent. That doesn't relate. Level of intelligibility. Degree of accent salient for non-native speech. I don't know what non-native speech is. Attention to native language background weakened the salience of the accent. Okay, this is not the thing. I'd be really interested if you could, if you found the actual paper that you're talking about and just wanted to drop like the site, like if you wanted to just copy, if y'all don't know how to do this, you can just go, oh, can't perform this operation? Cunt. Anyways, if you wanted to just put the authors and the title of the paper, I would be able to find it. Just do Sci-Hub F Publishers. We don't talk about that here because it violates TOS. So I don't know what you're talking about. Pal. But yes, I could do that, which is also why I don't do that here because TOS. So oopie, what's loud? Anyways, but yeah, if you could credit the authors and let me know the title, I would be interested. You can also join the Discord and drop it in there because I'm always interested. No sailing the seven seas here, no. Precisely. I wouldn't be surprised if there was some differences in the language processing areas of the brain based on different languages because that's just a thing, right? But I don't know about the complexity of the languages being one way or another or how they would categorize that, right? Because just on the very limited, one of my publications early on in my career, in my undergrad that I helped with was a word a visual eye tracking task using words that were related to fatness or thinness, because this was an eating behaviors laboratory that I worked for. Pardon me. And it was actually a really interesting study. But what I learned in the piloting of this is how this is related. So what we needed to do, we put 4 different words on the screen and we put them in a little eye tracker where it can check your pupil dilation and where your eyes are going. And what we were doing is we were taking neurotypical people and people that had diagnosed eating disorders according to the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, the DSM, our favorite thick boy book, even though it's very flawed. Anyways, and we gave them a whole bunch of inventories related to eating behaviors. And then we also primed these individuals by showing them slideshows of neutral stimuli, which were just shoes, very nondescript, boring, like brown, non-gender specific shoes, or by showing them images of thin models in skimpy clothing. So basically lingerie models. And we wanted to see if that priming effect changed the attentional biases to these words that were displayed on the screen. So of course, it's just a black word on a white screen, 4 of them with equidistant from the edges, and all of that stuff was controlled. And so you would think that that would be a lot of control, right? But there's also, you have to match word length. You have to match word valence, right? Because if you put fat and then gargantuan, that's a thing. They're going to draw your attention differently because they're easier to read. We also had to switch which position, because you always start with the top left and then go across if you are an English native speaker or any of the Western languages, right? Unless it's an Arabic or like Farsi, I think, start from the right. Anyways, so that's another thing that we had to control for. Valence is, of course, the positivity or negativity of the word. So we had to do a whole bunch of surveys of individuals. We put it out to I think 800 or some stupid amount of undergraduates and asked them to rate basically how positive or negative they viewed that word. So fat versus plump versus strong versus thick, all of these things that out of context of body might just not have a negative connotation, or it might even have a positive connotation, right? So we needed to match them for valence. And of course, we needed to match them as much as possible for their popularity, for their occurrence in language, because words like big and little we use all the fucking time. Words like enormous are comparatively much less used in our lexicon. So again, that can draw the eye. So my point with all of this is studies using words, even when you're not directly studying language itself, are so particular and so difficult to control in such a way that you can draw causative conclusions, right? Oh, the Discord link on my bio's expired. I'm sorry. Okay. Can I fix that right now? Can I fix it right now? Maybe I can. I don't know. Can I fix it right now? Oh, you guys. Why am I like this? Why am I such a basic ass? Okay, Joseph, you don't know this. I was just away for a while at a conference. Your girl's tired. Your girl's exhausted. She's also pretty new to streaming. Oh God, I can hear myself. Ugh, hated that. I'm going to need to log in. I'm going to do it after. You're just going to, if you really want to join the Discord, you're just going to have to wait until after the stream when I have the bandwidth and don't have to worry about doxing myself by showing things because I log in with the QR code and stuff. Anyways, I appreciate you. I appreciate you wanting to share that science with us. But Corey Campbell, hey. Did you find the study, Corey? Perfect hearing is the ability certain people have to recognize musical notes and emulate them with an instrument or their own voice effortlessly. It's kind of a rare condition, but it's not so rare in Asian people, so I started reading about it. That is interesting. Your chat doesn't accept your own Discord link. Yeah, I didn't set up the bought things, and we have like no links in chat unless mod approves it, and both of my mods are currently in lurk mode, so I don't know how to approve it or disapprove it because I'm a noob. My own Discord link is expired from my thing, so just, I'm sorry, you guys, be patient with me. I would assume tonal languages would result in a population with better pitch and hearing. Well, here's the other thing is like Asian languages is a very, very broad category, right? Like Cantonese sounds very, even within Chinese, Cantonese versus Mandarin sounds very different, even to someone that doesn't speak those languages. I joined. So where do I send it? I don't know. There's a thing that says, what do you call it? Here, hold on. I'm going to open this so that I can, I'm already logged in on my laptop. There's a thing that says like science from stream. There's a little like channel in there that says science from stream or something. I've put studies in there before. Sean's put studies in there before. So you can drop it in there and then I can open it up and take a look. Discord. Open. You guys are getting a free open Discord in your browser. Log in. Scan the code. You guys, this is taking forever. I'm sorry. I'm so tech illiterate and things are so, this is the way I am. Take it or leave it, you know? There we go. Yes, log me in. Okay, you're in. But now I'm logged in. I'm logged in on the wrong fucking computer. I'm an idiot. Discord's birthday. Fuck off. I'll just find the paper. Studies from stream. There we go. Journal of Applied. How far musicality and perfect pitch are derived from genetic factors. Okay. I'm going to click on it here. Yep. Hold up. Oh my God, cookies? I'd like it if I never got a fucking cookies thing ever again. Oh, and the studies from 2020. Studies from stream. There you go. Sent it. Thank you very much, Joseph, for sharing that. And thank you, Corey, for alerting me to the fact that my own thing is so aggressively blocky that it does that. Let's see. I probably won't be able to open this either unless it's open access. But let's see how far our musicality goes. Hello. Why is this like this? It is not letting me do this right now. Qu'est-ce que fuck? You guys, things are falling apart right now. What? This guy's last name is S-Z-Y-T. S-Z-Y-F-T-E-R. Sifter. Okay, it won't open. I can't open this right now. You know what? I'm just going to look at it here and share the salient details with you verbally because we are an adaptive group. Musical abilities tend to cluster in families. The study is done on random population. Twins and families of gifted musicians provided a strong support for genetic contribution. Modern biomolecular techniques exploring linkage analysis, variation of gene copy number, scanning for whole genome expression. So they're doing, I believe, what's called a GWAS, a genome-wide association study. A far ethnic differentiation was established in their ability to recognize tone without reference. Gene deletion leading to dysfunction in amusical individuals also indicated a loci by negation. So they believe that the genes AVPR1, SLC, a whole bunch of numbers, none of these are going to mean anything to anybody, including myself. They believe these genes are associated with musicality, and I believe what they're going to claim here is that those genes are more prevalent in certain ethnic groups. But that's not what they're saying in the abstract here. Let's see. I am able to look at, this is a long paper. Oofed. It's suggesting me other thing. Neat. You guys are having fun watching me read, I bet. This is high action, white knuckle content. You guys are on the edge of your seat watching me read, I'm sure. It's all right, you're doing great. I have the idea of doing this with my uni. They bought a trinocular microscope, so I want to show people the microalgae we used in my lab and other labs. Cool. That's, I'm not very good at microscopy. If I'm being honest, it's not my strong suit. Corey Campbell, actually, who I believe is still in here, is a microbiologist. Is that right? Anyways, they're a SciComms Twitch streamer, actually, and we are going to collaborate. I'm going to be on his stream next Saturday, and we're going to be talking about a optogenetics paper, which is super interesting. So if you're interested in genetic stuff, this is a really cool technique that we can use by editing genetic stuff. Anyways, biochemist, molecular biologist. Okay, she wasn't super wrong. I didn't say you were a polar bear. So, well done me. I've seen you read before. It's true. Okay. Proto-musical language probably used music as a biological phenomenon, had to be shaped by genes which best exemplified by extended pedigrees of musical families like the Bachs, and certain disorders involving musicality. A multitude of so far collected data shows that music might be a better denominator of genetic distances than language. Okay, that is a different story than it being tied to ethnicity, right? So optogenetics, I'd actually prefer a polar bear. Well, no, they're going extinct. You would have no ice cube to stand on, Corey. This would be a mess. You don't want it. You think you want it, but you don't want it. What you want is for the polar bears that are out there to be thriving. So be kind to the earth. They may be a polar bear and you outed them. That's true. I don't know if you identify as a polar bear. We shouldn't make light of people identifying as various things, but sometimes I do like to correct myself. It's not on the Neuralacia stream without doxing. Listen, did I dox anybody? Corey, are you a polar bear? This is a polar bear inclusive zone. We encourage all different animal. You guys. Oh, oopsie. My mom once dropped something and said dropsy mopsy, which I think is borderline the most fucking hilarious thing I've ever heard. So, but circling back around to these bad boys, look at him. Anyways, my best friend Carly gave me all of these. Look at this sweet little bird one. It's like a crossbill of some kind. This is not focusing the way that I would like it to. So you guys are only going to get the really cute, simple line drawings. Poor Dougulicious may be doomed. Listen, I'm sure that there's other people with that first name and last name. Once he got business cards made, when he became a manager at the store that we worked at together, we used to work at a shoe store together. And that's actually where we met. And they spelled his last name wrong. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Anyways, no, just the hibernation lazy habits of a polar bear. Polar bears do hibernate. That's true. I also love hibernation and sleeping and stuff like that. Has anyone read that book, My Year of Rest and Relaxation? That's like where this girl wants to take sleeping pills and just skip a year of her life. Relatable. Anyways, I'm thinking of reading it. I started reading a book on Risto's recommendation, actually, called To Sleep in a Sea of Stars. And it's like super sci-fi, really interesting. I was reading it on the plane right after I watched that movie that I recommended earlier called Kajillionaire. This is a Shiba Inu that kind of looks like Hoon, but Hoon doesn't have the white parts or the little blush. You guys are getting the sticker tour. Oof, that atrophy would suck. Yeah. Sheep. Very cute. A dinosaur. So Paleontologizing is another SciComm streamer that I used to watch for about a year before starting my own SciComm stream. So them and Science were two of my like holy grail, like, oh my god, it's a celebrity kind of people when they come into my stream. Actually, Denny's never been in my stream. Paleontologizing has never been in my stream, but they are, as the name suggests, a paleontologist Twitch streamer that just does immaculate content. Super fun to watch. I believe he streams like every day or every weekday, so easy to catch. Absolutely wonderful. I'm not even going to try to do the shout out thing because I just don't feel like it. But the reason I got excited about that is because this little Triceratops, oh, adorable. Okay, we've got, guys, it just gets cuter from here on in. Buckle up. Some sort of gerbil or hamster with a little seed. Appears to be a sunflower seed. Adorable. Puffy cheeks. Wow, every day that's a busy schedule. So that's all they do. They're actually an academic, so they're still involved in research and whatnot, and go on digs and everything like that. But I guess from what I remember during the pandemic, they stopped doing their museum job that they were doing and then started just streaming very regularly, and then just decided to not go back to it when museums and stuff opened back up. But don't quote me on that. I could be wrong. This is a raccoon, which in French, I believe the word for raccoon is raton lavé. Raton, R-A-T-T-O-N, being rat or something related to a rat, and then laver being wash. So this is a wash rat. And if you guys have ever seen that viral video where they like to wash their food, and this raccoon got a whole bunch of like candy floss, which is called daddy's beard in French. Hilarious. And he brings it to go wash it, and he puts it in the water, and then it disappears, and it's just the saddest but cutest thing. Anyways. And now that I am home, I have more than 16 pixels. Your hair is exceptionally nice and blonde. Thank you, Muse. It is. I'm so excited because it's only going to get more blonde as like the demi-permanent like toner and stuff goes out. And then when I go to Spain and get all, fancy and in the sun, bleached, she's just going to get more blonde is the point. I am also a raccoon. Raton is mouse. No, souris is mouse. S-O-U-R-I-S is mouse. Oh, in Spanish, raton is mouse. Okay, I do not know Spanish. In French, souris, which I'm pronouncing very poorly, is that. But I just think it's cute that this basically translates to wash rat. Because y'all know how I feel about rats up in here. We love rats. Ladybug. Actually, beetle of some kind. Probably a ladybug. Oh my fucking God. Oh, baby. Look at these. They're so cute. Look at this deer. You guys, look at its little feet together. That's quite nice. A little puffer fish. That's cute. Fun fact, the puffer fish that you can't eat is because it'll block your acetylcholine receptors, which are vitally important to your functioning of your cardiovascular system. So that's how, I believe it's fugu, kills you if it's not prepared properly. The toxin will do that. So that's just a little neuroscience that came right with that sticker. Get the whole package here, folks. This is a shark, which is my greatest fear, even though I am from somewhere where I'm surrounded on all sides by land, is where I'm from. And then last but certainly not least is a peacock, which of course was really cute that Carly gave it to me. Carly being my best friend, for those of you that are, late arrivals, because I have two peacocks tattooed on me. I actually have 3 birds tattooed on me total. I love birds. Birds rule. And peacocks, I got them tattooed on me probably 12 years ago on my feet because peacocks are just great. I really like them. I like the fancy birds, like birds of paradise and stuff like that, but I also like the mundane birds. I have like a really basic bird tattooed on me, and the tattoo is actually matching one with Carly that says stick the sticker, which, relates back to, do things that make you happy. That was meant to be like kind of the theme of what I'm talking about today, is like traveling. If you're so privileged as to be able to travel, near or far. Doing that is like super nice. And then like recharging with your friends, but also honoring your own desire for time alone, and doing what makes you fucking happy is really important. And peacocks are sweet. Peacocks are loud and sound like they are calling for help. Yes. Particularly the male peacocks. They be whining all the time. But that's okay. Because, I mean, if I were a male peacock and being chased around a zoo by a bunch of children, I'd probably screech too. Honestly, I wouldn't even have to be a peacock and I'd probably make that noise. So travel, but beware of road trips. Oh, bud, so many silly road trips. I've actually told the story, mainly the story about getting into the Palms afterwards, and the redemption glory that happened on that trip, less about the trauma blocked out, breaking down on the side of the road. But the quick and dirty is Nanners and I are friends in real life, and we've been on a road trip, several road trips together, but one of them culminated in us breaking down 3/4 of the way to Las Vegas. Oh, sorry, guys. Your girl's tired. Anyways, yeah, we broke down 3/4 of the way to Las Vegas in the middle of fucking August. It was the beginning of August. And no, July. Anyways, it was high summer is the fucking point. And boy, oh boy, was it toasty. And her car never left, I believe. So we had to kind of make the fucking best of it, and it was a bit brutal. But July/August. I believe the concert was on the 12th of something, I want to say, but I would have to look at my t-shirt. Anyways, a house across the field from me had a bunch of peacocks. The little hooligans ran up and down the road. Where are you living that just casually has a house that is equipped with peacocks? Because number one, love that. Number two, what? That's lots. It's very like Malfoy manner of them, if we can use a Harry Potter reference without talking about that bitch. It did come back, and then it was in an accident 3 weeks later, and it was a write-off. Rats. Oh, right, because your dad came down. Right. It's a long time ago. Anyways, the reason that I wanted to kind of make this stream, well, first of all, I decided that I was going to make it whatever the fuck I felt like, because I didn't have the energy, bandwidth, or time to do much research. But also I had a member of my extended family pass away that I used to be medium close with. I haven't seen her in years. Anyways, she passed away suddenly. And all of my family are talking about this. And it really sucks. I'm not especially like destroyed by it, because as I said, I hadn't been close with them for a long time, but they were pretty unhappy for a lot of their life, and just recently moved away from their partner, who was part of the unhappiness, and was, engaged with their animals a little bit more, and kind of restarted their life in the last year. So it was kind of, at least at face value to their friends and close family, were very happy. And, finally people are saying, oh, she finally was like settling down and finding peace, and finally, got away from that situation, blah, 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 right? And it made me think a lot, just kind of like zoom out and macro level think about doing shit that just kind of makes you happy and filling your own cup. And I know that sounds like really like hokey and stuff like that. And people talk about you can't pour from an empty cup, which is true. But I also think that like, it's not just about doing things that fill your cup, but not doing things that you want, that empty your cup, that you would rather be using your cup liquid on something else. You know what I mean? So like, for example, I don't know, while I was away, I could have seen a lot more people, but I wanted to spend more time with Carly, spend more time with my father, my stepfamily, and my mother. And in order to do that, I had to basically just not even tell certain people that I was there. I didn't see any of my Calgary people whatsoever. Nanners, you know that, because I didn't see you. I didn't see Rat Boy Minis, the guy who made my little terrarium rat lord. And I didn't see my friend Lorelai. I didn't see basically anybody that I would ordinarily see because I was maxed out by the time I was done my conference and was in like social mode. I was totally at my wit's end, and like, seeing other people and being on vacation and being in the mountains fills your cup back up. But then I was like, do I want to give each person that much juice, or do I want to give people that pour back into my cup more of that energy? And like, I know that that's kind of like, again, the analogy is a little bit tired and overused and maybe isn't super salient for some people, but I think my point is anybody that truly appreciates you and values you and that sort of thing is going to understand within the bounds of their own feelings that you can't spend all of your time with them. And I talked to Carly about that, and we had a really good like heart to heart about not, nothing being able to come between us. And, even though we didn't get to spend my entire time there together and we didn't get a whole lot of just her and I time, it still is better than no time. And we both understand that the other person has their own kind of priority and obligations. And regarding obligations, fuck obligations. The only obligations that you should have are ones that are to honor yourself. And it took me a long time to get rid of some of the guilt and the should. And I still have that, I'm like, oh, I should do this. Oh, it's going to make them upset. But something that I'm coming to realize more and more through a lot of therapy and stuff like that is other people's emotions are other people's business, and your emotions are your business. So while you shouldn't be a dick and deliberately make other people, suffer or be in pain or anything like that, and you should take other people's feelings into account, at the end of the day, is the only motivation for doing something is so that you mitigate someone else's emotions. I would encourage you to, re-examine that situation and the dynamics, especially if there's power dynamics at play that are there. And I know a lot of people, dread going home to their parents at Christmas time and shit like that, because it's not necessarily a very like mentally and emotionally safe space for a lot of people, especially if you're part of the queer community, etc. But for the first time last year, I didn't go home for Christmas, and it changed the fucking tone of my visits. Now that I am going to visit my parents, I'm just like, I'll be there on this day. And they're like, oh, well, we were hoping that you, and I'm just like, it's all right. And it really, drawing the first line made all the subsequent lines easier to draw, because they know that I'm actually going to hold that boundary and that there's consequences to attempts at violating that boundary, right? So yeah, in any event, in St. George, Utah, it did come back. Yep. I mean, I'm hella offended. Much offense, JK, I'm not. It's all about balance. Damn right. Other people's emotions are their business. Lurking for a minute, tiny person needs to go to bed. Also, healthy boundaries are a thing. True. Good night, tiny person. And yes, thank you for the lurk. Again, I mean, I've been at 2 hours, and I know that it would be a little bit short of a stream for me to wrap it up now. And I'm kind of like, now I'm in the zone. Now I'm in like the I want to talk about shit zone. But as you can tell, my voice is going. You got to do what makes you happy. That's why I'm trying to combine Twitch with the career I study, because I like the career, but after the pandemic, I lost all my inspiration to continue studying it. And that's super relatable. And I think also the fact that the current culture is very much of monetizing one's hobbies and gig culture. And on the one hand, it's great to have what enriches you also be the thing that enriches you. And I don't mean you're going to get rich off Twitch, though you might. I hope you become the next Pokimane of your field. But, on the other hand, it's what you don't get in real pay, you get in peace of mind. And I learned that very much the hard way. I used to work in oil and gas because I'm from Western Canada, and that's a huge industry out there. And I made the most money I've ever made in my life, but I was like hitting my head against the wall every day, misogyny running rampant, getting hit on at work at like 8 a.m. and like contributing to the oil and gas industry. I was like, I can't do this. So I quit my job and I started working again in retail, started working at a shoe store, and that's how I met Dougie Licious. a biotech Pokimane. Wouldn't that be nice? I'd love to be a Psychoms Pokimane. Maybe not that big. I don't know. You know what I mean though, right? Like it was more of like an exemplar than anything. But I think treading the line between having what you love be how you live and giving yourself space to have your own private world is something that's so important. And I don't want to call out anybody that I know personally, but when we were at the conference, when I was in Banff, a lot of first-time conference goers, especially trainees, so people that are in graduate degrees as opposed to professors and established like research and executive level people, they feel the need to go to everything and show face and be there and be seen being there and, play into that quite a bit because the pressure to do that is huge, right? It's so much more salient when people are like, oh, where's so-and-so? And you're not there, especially if you were partying the night before, right? So it's interesting to me that once you kind of curate an expectation that's very high, then people are disappointed when you're not performing at max, right? Which is why it's kind of nice that my lovely community is tolerant of my ghetto ass lighting because my ring light is busted and me not being able to figure out how to open the fucking link on the thing or how to make my Discord work and stuff like that. Because, if I set the bar really high, with all of those things, then when all stuff goes to hell, it's a lot more noticeable by contrast, right? So I guess on the one hand, I'm kind of saying like, keep your own bar low, but also your bar is the only bar that fucking matters. If other people want to have these shit expectations of you, they can like fucking jog on, right? As someone who crafts, I loathe when people tell me to monetize my crafting. No, we'll steal the joy. Very much like, it's a personal thing, right? And like I've talked to people that have the kind of like anti-monetize your hobby mindset. And they've been like, well, won't that steal the joy out of it for you doing the Twitch thing? And I'm like, well, no, because like my goal in my life since I was 14 was to do science communications. It's changed kind of what it looks like over the years. But I remember after going through the DARE program, which anyone from North America probably knows what I'm talking about. It was a very ineffective anti-addiction, anti-drug use program that a lot of people had to go through. And there was also something called Party Program, which was basically trying to teach people not to drink and drive. And both of those, lots of people basically got scarred by it because like some people would come in and be like, it's gonna ruin your lives and yell at you like a drill sergeant. You would see horrific videos of people that were like dismembered or whatever from drinking and driving. But did it stop any of that? Did it make any noticeable difference in the prevalence of these things? Absolutely not. If anything, sometimes it made it worse. So I remember watching those and thinking and telling my dad, and he remembers this too, where I was like, I want to do something to help the world with addiction that's like the DARE program, but better. Like that's the big dream. That's the pipe dream. And I've like looked back at my journals and stuff like that. And it was always about giving information to people so that they can make their more informed decisions of their own. And then of course, as I developed I was like, oh, I want to be an addictions counselor. So I started doing stuff at a community college. And then I realized I don't like most people enough to be their counselor, nor do I have an especially warm bedside manner that is frequently required in those positions. But I'm still very interested in the subject matter. So once I learned that there was a way that you could do research in that area and kind of pivoted away from the clinical and counseling aspect of it, I found a whole new world. And then you get told you have to teach when you're in graduate school, or in informally, you have undergraduates that work for you. Even when I was an undergrad, I had fellow undergrads working for me. I was kind of a de facto graduate student. And I realized I'm exceptionally good at training people and communicating knowledge. And I get all-star reviews on my like my TA reviews and stuff like that. And I also enjoy it. And I was like, interesting. So circling back to monetizing your hobbies and stuff like that, this is something that I wouldn't even call it a hobby. I would call it like a calling. And I know that that's kind of like, it's my calling in life to be a science communicator. When really, like, formally, I never was like, I want to be a science communicator on a streaming platform, because that didn't exist. But I love the interaction. I like being able to talk with people. I like that people can walk in and anonymously or pseudo-anonymously just boom, ask a question, share their story, interact with each other, interact with me, right? So Layla and I had talked about doing a YouTube channel or podcast or whatever. And I'm like, no, I want the interaction. That's a really important part of it for me. So streaming is ideal. And I absolutely fucking love it. So love you guys. You're the best. You got to do it. Yeah. You got to do what makes you happy. That's why, I already read that one. Sorry. A lot of life comes down to managing expectations, yours and others. That's exactly it. Set the bar low and blow them out of the water. If you set the bar low and then perform at what you think you're going to do, you're going to make people impressed. Impression management is huge, right? I had a friend in uni. She's amazing, truly a genius, but when she doesn't get that 10 out of 10, she gets so disappointed on herself and sad. I've been trying to tell her that it's okay to not be perfect, but I don't know to what extent she could consider I wanted changing her way of being. I mean, Layla and I teach like a 400 person class, right? So there's lots of turbo keeners. There's lots of people that want to be doctors. There's lots of people like that want to do the harder stream of academia and training and life and stuff like that think that GPA is the be all end all. And my favorite thing to tell those people, because they're like, how did you get to be where you are? Oh, you're so intelligent and successful and blah, 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 right? And I'm like, listen, I have F's on my record. Several F's on my record from 2 different universities. So I flunked out of university not once, but twice. And I came back. It is not about your GPA. I know people that are in med school that are kind of mediocre students, but are exceptional scientists and have exceptional relationships and got really good recommendation letters because they are people that should be in MD, PhD programs. And, you know, I find that tends to make people be like, really? And I'm like, yeah, your GPA means jack shit. People like to say that it means a whole lot. But at the end of the day, really, unless you have a remarkably bad GPA, it doesn't matter. Like, if you wanted to get into a prestige school, yeah, of course it's going to hinder your ability to do that. But at the end of the day, if you really want to do what you want to do because you want to do that, not because you want to have a medical degree from Harvard, those are 2 very different things, right? But to be successful in academia, you do not need to be a rocket scientist level of intelligence in every capacity. You just don't. And I would like to, point out that a lot of people have exceptional intelligence in certain arenas and not in others, and that we only evaluate very little parts and avenues and arenas of intelligence in academia because it's exceptionally difficult to measure a lot of other different types of intelligence, right? So it's hard to measure physical intelligence and emotional intelligence without inventories. And, those are expensive to process and blah, blah, blah. But it's pretty easy to offload a whole bunch of, efforts on academic evaluations of just knowledge retention and memorization skills. Those are easy questions to write. Those are easy questions to grade. It's just the way it is. Also, posterity. People like to do things that are already being done. People don't like change, right? I'm assuming you know Anna Lemke's research. That name rings a bell, but I'm bad with names. So maybe enlighten me, SVP. Anna Lemke. Let's see. Let's go to the search screen. Oh, right. My search screen wasn't fucking working. Piss. You guys, never mind. I am the way I am. And I appreciate you guys knowing that and just still being around. Oh, earlier we were talking about optogenetics, and I believe Joseph was like optogenetics question mark. So if you're interested in that, Corey Campbell does a stream where they talk about stuff, and one of their recent streams, I don't know, I likely still in their VODs, where they talk about an optogenetics paper and talk about like the more molecular aspects of it, which is really interesting to me because I know how it operates, but not how it does that. You know what I mean? I'm more about the behavioral end of things. They're more about the molecular end of things. It's really cool. Yeah. Yeah, okay, that's I was thinking that it's Anna Lemke. Google Scholar. I had a class about optogenetics in mice. That is very cool. What did you find? What did you think? Tell me your opinion before I tell you mine, because I don't want to color. This is how you collect real data, is you don't, prime the subject. Anna Lemke. Oh, yes. Okay, hold on. I might have met her. Oopie. Who does she work with? She might straight up work with Carl. Okay, so what I'm first seeing, one of her top sites here, when I pull her up on Google Scholar, is talking about, sorry, I just like swallowed my own spit, really weird. It says time to abandon the self-medication hypothesis in patients with psychiatric disorders, which I couldn't agree more with. That is a fantastic paper. I believe I've read it before, not recently. I think I read it when I was writing my undergraduate honors paper, or when I was writing my master's thesis. But basically, there's a really popular opinion in lay culture and in scientific culture historically regarding addiction theory, which is how and why we get addicted and why we stay addicted, right? So a lot of people are like, oh, they're self-medicating, because it sounds truthy. It has kind of like an air of truthiness to it. Like, you come home and you're stressed and you grab a glass of wine. And so that's the self-medication hypothesis in a very small nutshell. However, we also know that there's lots of people who do this for sensation-seeking purposes or for pleasure-seeking purposes, which can be very important in the initial phases of developing an addiction or sampling an addictive substance or an addictive behavior. But what maintains an addiction isn't its medication. Otherwise, we would be addicted to all of our medications, which we're not, right? So it's one of those things that sounds like it's a good true positive, but a bad true, no, it's a good true negative. Never mind, just forget about that. But certainly that can be an aspect of it, but it isn't enough to sustain an addiction in and of itself, right? Because theoretically, if using the substance is treating a disorder directly or indirectly, effectively, to some degree, then the usage should drop off with the kind of remediation of the disorder. And of course, these things don't remediate the disorder, and the usage doesn't drop off. In fact, it ramps up. That is addiction. That's one of the characteristics of addiction. It's called escalation, right? So what truly is the driving factor in addiction, the most predominant hypothesis, is what's called the incentive salience theory of addiction, which was put forth by two researchers at the University of Michigan named Terry Robinson and Kent Berridge. And actually, Corey Campbell and I are going to be talking about a paper out of the Berridge lab done by Kent, Shelley, and another Robinson, not Terry, Mike, who are fantastic addiction researchers and are the pioneers of this subject matter. And they're using these really amazing tools to demonstrate how that works. Basically, what this suggests is that there are cues and signals in our environment and within ourselves that potentiate a reward chemical in our brain called dopamine. A lot of people think dopamine is associated with pleasure. It's associated, but it isn't directly a progenitor of pleasure. And you can have addiction without pleasure. Just ask pretty much anybody that's addicted to anything, and and you say, do you get pleasure out of your addiction anymore? Most of them will say no. In any event, basically, these cues in the environment are enough to instigate a craving for a specific substance or action, if we're talking about a behavioral disorder like gambling, etc. And the reason that kind of trumps things like the self-medication hypothesis and the sensation-seeking hypothesis is because it's the only one that kind of covers all the situations. It's not to say that none of those things have anything to do with it or to write those off. It's to say that those are not holistic things that are eligible to cover kind of all the aspects of addiction as we know it as a disorder. If you're interested in that, I wrote a book chapter about the theories of addiction that gives a good kind of comprehensive background rundown of these historical views of addiction and how the incentive salience theory of addiction answers the kind of gaps that those theories leave. So if you're interested, I can make that. Stick a sticker. It was really cool. They tested cell reprogramming using the light as a promoter. If I could post a link, I could post a study showing aerospace engineers and neurosurgeons aren't geniuses. We don't need a study to know that. I'm not a genius. Also, I asked something about fluoxetine and the message got lost in the sauce. What did you ask about fluoxetine? What do you want to know about Prozac? Nanners, while Joseph is typing their answer, which sticker do you want stuck, baby girl? Any of these new ones? Do you want to be ran through the old ones? I think you were the last one to pick the sticker too. We've got Killer Queen, NASA, Technicolor Taco, Skull Strawberry, Rat Boy, Kangaroo. Rat Boy is my savior, Jesus with rat. Love that. And then, of course, we have all the new ones. There was some from Risto Rock, the Star Seeds. There was all those cute animal ones that we just went through. And I do have Science Musical Antonia and just the Science logo. And because you're my actual friend in real life, you can actually pick two if you want to. I just learned that fluoxetine is a side effect of causing depression, being a medication against depression. How does that work? I would be dubious of saying that something causes depression because depression is a really heterogeneous diagnosis. Meaning heterogeneous, hetero meaning different, like heterosexual, you're a different sex than yourself is what that originally means. Genius meaning like of that ilk, right? So it being such a heterogeneous thing means that you can have things like acute depression because someone in your life died or you lost your job or anything like that. And those can be very different flavored depressions, but they are depression nonetheless, right? When they talk about Prozac or fluoxetine or any of the SSRIs, the selective serotonin reuptake inhibitor class of drugs, the serotonergic drugs, them causing depression, I honestly don't even really think that can be true canonically, right? I would say that frequently it's associated with an increased risk for suicide because frequently serotonin enhancement leads to downstream polysynaptic enhancement of other motivation-related neurotransmitters such as dopamine. So if you get motivation before your depression is fixed, then guess what? You're going to be motivated to do the things you're thinking about while you're depressed. Right? So that's the main reason that we think that's associated with that. Okay, we're just going to circle back to stickers. You want musical ant and you want trash panda. Yes. We call him wash rat. Okay. I have to put the stickers back in the bag. Oh God. So many stickers. Oh dear. Oh God. Oh no. You guys, I knocked a lot off. It's okay. Here we go. There's in the bag. Go in the bag. Go in the bag. In the bag. Oh, I dropped another one. All right, where's my water bottle? Suicide being a side effect of the medication started to work kind of morbid. Yeah, isn't it? Isn't it? Hey. So here's the thing: the serotonin hypothesis of depression is something that's wildly outdated, but we don't have anything better. There hasn't been any major jumps in depression research in recent decades. We're still like, they're like, we have a new drug to treat depression. Guess what? It also works on serotonin. It just works on a different serotonin receptor. So that's not to say that the on the ground experience for the users of these drugs isn't going to be different. It's to say that if we were going to fix it with a serotonergic drugs, surely we already would have, right? Because our previous drugs are like sledgehammers for your serotonergic system. And our newer drugs are a little bit finer grained, of course, to try and mitigate side effects, right? So the side effect profile is different. Trash Panda is going to go above Snoopy in a coat. Right there. Oh, yeah. Oof. It's a good stick. These are nice, kind of like pseudo matte type. I believe for many antidepressants, you can often get worse before you get better. Yeah, so honestly, the real truth of it is we don't know what causes depression and we don't know how to fix it, but we do know. I actually talked about this once in like a really early stream, so Muse Clues might actually remember this, but I sincerely depressed, pun not intended, I depressed, the people in the chat at the time because I was like, guys, we know so little, and they were like, what the fuck? And I'm like, but we also know so much. We know so much more than we used to, so we're way more equipped than we used to. I'm having a lot of trouble getting the back off this sticker. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be afraid of medication if you're doing it on the advice of a professional. Oh, yeah. Where's Antonia gonna go? There she is. Doot. Okay. Here's your second sticker. Laid down real nice there. Personal disclosure, I've been on psychoactive medication since I was 14, and I probably will never go off at least one of them. And I have no desire to, right? Like, it's something where, like, would you ask someone with, hypertension to go off their blood pressure medication? Probably not. Would you ask someone to, change their cholesterol medication if they were at high risk of things related to that? So I try to not necessarily encourage the use of medication. I highly encourage the use of therapy and counseling and other mental health interventions, but I would caution against being scared of medications. These things are rigorously researched for safety, and as long as you're using them in a way that's, directed, safe, and, medically guided by a trusted medical professional, and you can afford it and it doesn't cause other, side effect profiles, it's something that can be very useful. And I think that a lot of stigma is associated with the need for them, because the people that tend to be the most vocal about using them are the people with the most kind of neurodivergent personality profiles at the outset. But I would also probably say at least half of the people are probably on some sort of psychoactive medication and just don't talk about it, right? So we tend to hear about the cases that are zany and wild and scary, and not, it's the file drawer effect in a lot of ways. We file away the times that things didn't go wrong. And the times that things don't go wrong, we put it out there, right? And that is important when you're talking about medications, to pay attention to the times that things do go wrong. But there's something statistically in medication, in the study of medications, that's called the number needed to harm, which basically means how many people do you have to treat for one individual to get an adverse effect from that medication or to get harm from that medication. And broadly speaking, the antidepressants that we use currently, which are mainly the serotonergic drugs, have a number needed to treat in the let's look up number needed to treat NNT for fluoxetine. 4.16. So that means, actually, that's pretty low. NNT for... I might be eating my fucking words. What is the NNT for an SSRI? Okay, so it's about 7 to 8, which is decent. 4 is probably like the threshold. Anyways, medication is a tool, as is therapy, but you need many tools in your box to manage things sometimes. The bad thing is that between medication and therapy, medication might be cheaper. Well, and yeah, it probably is. It probably is, which is another reason that I would caution people against being super overly cautious, cautioning against the cautious, against trying them. So on the one hand, don't get me wrong, I'm not a drug pusher. I'm not someone that is encouraging over medication or using medication for things that don't necessarily need it, but it's kind of like, I don't know, it's like a headache, right? Like you can muscle through it, but if you could pop an Advil and make it kind of go away a little quicker, why wouldn't you? You know? But you would also, now we have the great luxury, most of us, of having vast internet and research access. It sounds to me like you're a scientist, so you know how to do decent research of peer-reviewed information and meta-analyses on these things to know, appropriate dosages and risk factors, and you know yourself better than you know anybody else and better than anybody else knows you. So using those kind of informed decisions and your own, cost profile and all of those sorts of things is what I would recommend for people. But, certainly medication is nothing to be afraid of, right? Because a lot of the time I would much rather have a negative outcome like dizziness or any of these like harms that drugs cause, because most of them are quite mild side effects. Remember that's the harm they're thinking of. It's like nausea, headaches, these sorts of things. I would much rather have that than not be able to fucking get out of bed because I'm so depressed. And that's my own personal opinion, right? But, especially in third world countries like mine, yeah, you know what? It sucks. It sucks. The access to therapy is difficult. I don't know if this is true in your jurisdiction. I go to a place that has a sliding scale based on your income, how much they charge you, so you can get affordable care. Some places have a small amount of sessions for free. I got crisis counseling back in Western Canada for free. I got 6 sessions for free, and it was very effective. And it's better than nothing, right? Taking advantage of a free session somewhere. Also, even though something's expensive, it's an investment in your ability to be productive in your own life, both literally, as a force of labor in earning income to live, but also be productive in your life in ways that are enriching to you, right? So both of those things can be the small investment at the front. And what happens is what's called delayed discounting. We discount things more the more there's a delay about them, right? Therapy can be 10% of your salary per hour. Yeah, you're not wrong. Therapy should be accessible to everyone. It's so unfortunate that it's not. There are starting to be various forms of online therapy that are much more affordable for many. Your voice is fucked. Are you sick or just have illness? I was just at a conference and talking a lot. Welcome. Big Kobe fan. Assuming you like basketball, welcome. I'm Neuralicia. I'm a neuroscientist. I'm doing my doctorate. I'm at the end of my doctorate. And I have a master's and undergraduate degree looking at experimental neuropsychology, neuropsychopharmacology, etc. Can I get a word in or should I leave because you only have 5 viewers after 3 hours? Okay. Don't have to be mean about it. Do have to be aware of some of those online options. Don't vet their practitioners well. She's been waffling to 5 viewers for 3 hours. Cut her a break, you prick. Snaps out. Thank you for yours. Okay, but can I get a word in, please, Neuralicia? Fuck off, kicker. Okay, where are my mods? I don't know how to do this. Oh, God. I'm working on it, guys. I honestly, there's 2 mods in here. They're both just lurking right now. This is almost funny. The user you were trying to ban doesn't exist. Did I fucking... You guys, I'm not fast enough at this. Nine messages were deleted by a moderator. I can hear the 2 fingers typing. Fuck off. I think I did it. Neuralicia banned Big Kobe fan. You guys, I did it. I used my own ban hammer. Thank you for being in my corner. And thank you, Lurky Furry Arslicker. You know, I'm just going to go ahead and not say that out loud. But thank you. Yeah. Anyways, bye. See ya. And thank you for offering to mod Joseph and whatever. I have a pretty... okay, yeah. I just don't want to type these things out. I'm annoyed. Did I tell you to fuck off, Muse? I'm sorry, Muse. I don't... Sometimes I get heated. When people come for me, I come for them, you know? And I know you didn't come for me, but... Comes up as deleted messages right now, whatever that means. Okay, /ban. Why can't I just click thing? Oh, God, you guys. Did I do that? I did it. Way to go. Look at me. I banned the other one too. Yeah, I did. There you go. We did it together. Good job, team. Thanks for being there for me. She's been spewing to 5 viewers for 3 hours. That's my specialty. I love my 5 viewers. You guys are the best. You can go to the setting of your chat and turn on show mod icons. May I ask what you use to stream? They go. Yeah, I banned them, nanners. Slobs is what I use. In any event, usually Sean's here, and also Doug is around, and EU59, 6 viewers, thank you. You guys, I have my view count turned off. Muse is a testament to this. I have done this to one person just as effectively, ineffectively. I don't know. Depends on how I'm feeling that day. But thank you very much for the follow. I really appreciate it. And I appreciate no matter how many viewers there are. We've had up to like 17 kicking around. We've had, I don't know. I'm not in it for the stats. I'm not in it for the views. I'm in it to, you know, be, you know, nice. With show mod icons, you get a button on the left side to ban them. Oh, how do I do that? Chat settings. Show mod icons. Sick. Oh, what a life hack alert. Oh my God, you guys, this is great. Oh, and I can time them out. I can delete the messages. Huh. Everything's just, this is great. Okay, but it says 5 messages were deleted by a moderator and it wasn't me. So either one of my mods came in and did that or it was auto-modded. Either way, thanks for bearing with me, you guys, through that. And don't let trolls get you down. She discovered mod mode. You guys, there's a discovery every stream. Teehee. Apparently I need a nose job though. Rhinoplasty time. Oh. Anyways, I love my nose. She German. Just be careful with misclicking, lol. Yeah, that's a good point. Okay, but here's the thing. Now that I know that it's just a little thing to slide on and off, if I want to mod someone quickly, I can just go bloop, turn it on, click. You know what I mean? So yeah, this is great. This is great. We're all in it together, y'all. And we've talked a little bit about neuroscience, and I hadn't even planned to. Anyways, I appreciate y'all, and I appreciate y'all being with me in my scratchy voice, which is apparently aversive. It is a little bit scratchy right now, which is aversive to me as the person using the fucking voice. But, anyone else that finds it aversive can hashtag suck it. For those of you that didn't meet our mouse earlier, this is, my sister gave me this. It's a Webkinz mouse. And I'm going to make it another one that we can name, because for those of you that are new, we've named this little chef rat. We've named him 69. I can't remember what we named the other ones. That was the main one that we named. In case you can't tell, I'm, somewhere between the ages of 7 and 12 internally. And I love stickers and I love rats. And yeah, I've been a mod for 3 years now, so let me know if you need help with anything. I really love this stream. Joseph, thank you very much. I really appreciate the positive feedback and your participation this stream. It's nice. Big all pro. Okay, so real talk. I'm going to wait until I know you better and then maybe, but I appreciate the offer. Usually I'm spoiled for choice with the mods and whatnot. But like I said, I've been away for a little bit. So, we're grinding back into perpetual motion, not perpetual motion. We're getting inertia. We're getting things going again. Because going away for academic purposes, Jesus Christ, it's exhausting. Even if you don't go to everything, it's exhausting. But I forget what we were even talking about before the furry liquor and fucking idiot head were in here. Anyways, we were sticking stickers. Oh, we were talking about therapy. What's this? Mary Jo Miljack. Yeah. That's a cute little thing. We haven't used any of my emotes. Well, actually, no, Musical's used a brain. Let's use this guy. Fucking, I love it. It's my favorite emote. You guys are along for the ride with me, like Pedro. Anyways, so talking about number needed to treat and stuff like that. That's cool. Number needed to harm we were talking about. There's also something called number needed to treat. So that's related to the efficacy of a drug. So if a drug is super efficacious, the number needed to treat would be 1. So this is things like antibiotics for bacterial infections. They're incredibly effective. They usually have a number needed to treat of 1 or 2. And what you want is for the number needed to harm to be as high as possible and the number needed to treat to be as low as possible. And the reality is most of the medications out there for more complex disorders are just going to be kind of facts of life. If you around 10 is going to be pretty good for a psychoactive medication for the number needed to harm, number needed to treat. I don't know what it is, to be honest, off the top of my head. I've looked it up once upon a time, but anyways, no problem. You got to make sure your mods are what you look for. Yeah, well, and honestly, like I said, I truly do have 3, but 2 of them are here and lurking, I think, or they said they were. And one of them, I don't know where Sean is. But Sean and Layla just had their wedding anniversary, their 2-year anniversary this week. So maybe they're doing something nice because it's the weekend of their wedding anniversary. And Layla was just away at the same conference as me. So if I were married and not painfully single, for those of you playing the long game, that's a ongoing joke around here that your girl's painfully single. Anyways, if I was married and I just had my anniversary on a Monday, I would be going out on Friday. Spicy. I honestly, I love my basic ass bitch emoji for spicy. I think it's funny. I think my tea is cold, but that's okay. Look at how many water bottles I have with how many stickers. Everything's great here. And look at that. I made it to almost 3 hours. She's a winner chicken dinner. Hydrate. Yeah, so I think next Friday I am going to dive into the hoarding and attachment. So I'm not going to talk about attachment theory in terms of attachment to a relational attachment. They talk about being securely attached or disorganized or anxiously attached and stuff like that. I'm not going to talk about that. I might a little bit indirectly kind of thing, but what I'm going to talk about is our attachment to things, and not from a thing like you shouldn't have as many things, you shouldn't be attached to things, because I'm not a Buddhist. No shade if you are, whatever. But how the underlying impetus for us to anthropomorphize things and develop attachments to things, potentially through that anthropomorphization, when it's unchecked, can be part of what leads to hoarding disorder. And then there can be a lot of fear and lots of these things in the background. And what I found was, even though I'm looking up this relatively rare disorder that doesn't tend to happen a whole lot, especially in younger people, I was finding kind of little nuggets of truth that I could see kind of being a maladaptive in my own day-to-day life. And it kind of circled back to my whole stick the sticker thing, people saving things for a special occasion and not wanting to waste things. And I think, there's a balance to be achieved there. And I think it could be a really interesting conversation. So if you really, want to chat about that, I think it's going to be an interesting time. So that's going to be next Friday. And then this coming Monday, I think Layla and I are going to be back at it with Vulgar Science. It's going to be here, but like I said earlier, we are going to make it a separate channel thing, just because I might be doing random other things on here, and keeping it separate and keeping it easy, especially when money starts to get involved. It's just something that I think is going to take some stress away from the whole situation. And I love that woman to death and her husband, so I don't want it to get messy. Anyways, I have a thermos. Oh yes, I have a water bottle sticker on my water bottle. Yes, it's so meta, right? The secret to starting early is knowing your stream can end early and you still hit your 3 hours. I guess that's true. Well, and I hate to count the 15 minutes that I do beforehand, though I only did 10 this time. My starting screen. Who should I rate out to, y'all? Let's see who's on. I'm also thinking about, like I said, maybe gaming on here one day if I feel like it. I don't know. Maybe I'll just do a crossword and you guys can watch me be a grandmother. I was talking about puzzles earlier. I got a puzzle for myself. Ooh. Get yourself a puzzle. Just do it. Puzzles rule. I swear to God, I know how to type with more than 2 fingers. I know it doesn't sound like this. Science is live. Fantastic. I love reading science because they're so cool. I also, Hoodles is on. Pixels to Paper is on. Let's go science. It's been a minute since we've read science, and I love them so much. They just had a raid too. I mean, we still have a couple of minutes. I don't want to steal this person's thunder because he gives shout outs to people, so I don't want to step on their toes. Gaming. Explain the science behind the reward system of video games. That is on my list. My malicious cross stitch Mondays. We'd have to do it on a different day. Vulgar Science is on Mondays, but yes. And I would have to know how to cross stitch. You might just sit there and watch me caress my soft objects like the neurodivergent weirdo I am. But I don't know if I could do it for 3 hours. In any event, the science behind video games is really interesting, especially because there's this huge debate, right, in the kind of psychological community that talks about, sorry, I have the auto captions up and it's very distracting because I don't usually get to see them. Anyways, there's a whole debate about whether or not violent video games and violent music and stuff like that lead to, if violent content consumption, particularly video games are the ones that are studied the most, increase aggression or violence, etc. And there's actually a lot of research in that area that I haven't delved into recently. So I think it would be interesting to see how updated the research is, because the last time I took a dive into that was probably in the last year of my undergrad, which is good, like 5 or 6 years ago. So yeah, I think that would be really interesting. It is on my list. I have a big list of content that I want to cover. And I think I might slate that for perhaps the next one. And then you guys, I go to Europe so soon. I feel like I'm gone all the time. I feel bad. But I also don't, because I'm going to Spain and I'm going to Europe and I'm going to Cambridge. Ooh, it's going to be nice. Normal gaming or the newfangled loot box extravaganza? What is a loot box extravaganza? What's that mean? I don't know what that is. In any event, beep bop boop bop bop. Loot box. Is that like Fortnite? Is that a thing? I don't know. I feel like the advent of like first person shooter games was like a big thing in psychological research regarding aggression and stuff like that. So like the mid 90s was like kind of the initial explosion of that. And then you guys probably remember, depending on how old you are, F loot boxes, my homies hate microtransactions. I don't even understand what this means. You guys just gonna have your fun there. But what I will say is I forget. Oh yeah, first person shooters. That was kind of the explosion in that arena. And then if you remember that Michael Moore movie, like the Bowling for Columbine and all that, that was talking about whether or not the increase in violence and content warning, gun violence, especially in America, can be attributed to the increase in violent language used in music and, violent content on TV and in video games, etc. And that's like a hypothesis of why it's happening at an increasing level. This is, of course, before there used to be rhetoric around gun control laws and stuff like that, and before the advent of the internet being like hyper viral. So, it would be interesting to see how updated kind of the cultural milieu is, as well as the actual research, because at the time that I was researching it, we were actually doing debates in class, like about psychological topics. And the debate was whether or not violent video games impact, youth and their aggression tendencies. And the kind of end result was mixed reviews kind of thing. There were some to suggest that yes, some to suggest that no. And I believe it's probably something of a pre-existing, predisposition towards being vulnerable to impression by those sorts of things, is probably at the heart of this. And then if you were if you were exposed to or primed with violent content or gentle content or whatever, that just your susceptibility, your spongeness, so to speak, would then be, it just happened to be violent video games. And, you were susceptible to anything. And it was just chance that dealt that. So, yeah. But on the other hand, if people are susceptible to things and violent video games become more prevalent, then that can increase the prevalence of aggression induced by those things in the population level. So, whatever. Video games are a great way to blow off steam without harming others. I mean, sure. I think the other thing is like motivation for the way that we play video games. Like when I'm shooting monsters with arrows, it's not because I want to shoot things with arrows. It's because I like the art. It's because I like pretending to be someone I'm not sometimes. I want to LARP is the reason. I like LARPing. I've never done it, but I want to do it. I want to go to a Renaissance fair. I want to live in a fantasy world. I like reading books, etc. Okay, I'm yawning. We have to go read. Because sometimes you just want to throw the chair out the window and kick your door down, but you can just do that on video games. I mean, I've never had that desire hugely, to be honest. Playing half naked overpowered Elven Ranger because she likes art. My girl was never half naked. She was actually always in like full leather gear because I was a leather worker as well. So I actually even had like headgear kind of thing. It was very covered. But also, if you want to run around and shoot people with an arrow and wearing a bikini, you go on with your bad self. You guys know that I am someone that wears skimpy clothing and thinks that people should be able to wear things on their bodies without comments. I think screens cause more problems, but like only if you watch Caillou or whatever his name is. If you want to talk about something inducing the urge towards aggression, let's talk about some of the children's programming, because Lord, there's someone's really high-pitched voice that makes me just want to like not harm others. It makes me want to like take a power drill to my own ear so that I never have to hear their voice again. In any event, isn't Caillou kind of a whiny little bitch? That's what I've heard, is that he's kind of like all the time. Oh yes, let's talk about that. Anyways, okay, you guys, it's time to raid. I'm over 3 hours. It's time for /raid. Science_streams. I have lots of experience with that. Okay, yes. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. See you guys soon. Oh my God. Kevin, get out of my life, you guys. Anyone that was at that stream, I hate that this is happening right now as I'm about to raid, but screw off. I told you I don't want you in my life in any way, shape, or form. But thank you.